Danfall offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
History isn't just what happened, it's who we are. And now you can explore Africa's incredible past like never before. Introducing the new and engaging course catalog from aelearning.net, a world-class provider of interactive e-learning focused on Africa's rich and diverse history. From the rise of ancient Nubia and the power of the Mali Empire, to the architectural wonders of Egypt and the development of astrological knowledge by the Dogon people, each self-paced course brings history to life through stunning visuals, immersive video lessons, and interactive assessments. Designed for students, educators, and lifelong learners around the world, AE Learning's courses make discovering Africa's story easier, deeper, and more engaging than ever. With AE Learning, education meets flexibility. Whether you're a student, teacher, or lifelong learner, our platform gives you access to credible knowledge, rich multimedia lessons, and tools that make learning African history engaging and unforgettable. Join thousands of learners already rediscovering Africa's past and shaping its future. Visit www.aelearning.net today. Start your journey through Africa's past today, because the story of Africa is the story of us all. AE Learning, inspiration through high-quality education.
Peace, family. We are live again. Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe, y'all, on this Friday evening. Beautiful day here in Atlanta. Beautiful day here in Atlanta. How y'all doing? How's everyone feeling? Let's see what we got here. We are rolling to Senegal. Man, it's already almost April. We are 4 days away from April. The year's already going by so fast. I remember New Year's like it was yesterday. I remember being in Sierra Leone in this past November like it was yesterday. Now we are creeping up on Q2, depending on how you run your fiscal year. We are creeping up on Q2, guys, and it's going by fast, man. Jesus is going by fast. But hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements. We're rolling to Senegal in May 9th through the 18th. If you're a last minute person, you're like, listen, guys, I want to get away. I need to go on vacation. Please visit Danfo, that's Danfo, Africa. Again, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO.Africa to learn more. We'll love to host y'all in Senegal. Then we're going to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival, Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue, and then we're doing Ghana and Ivory Coast in November. So if you're interested in joining, please visit Danfo.Africa. Again, if you're interested in joining, please visit Danfo.Africa. Would love to host you. Without further ado, let's jump into today's topic. And why I'm disappointed in this, I'm so disappointed in this. Lincoln University, who have alma mater like Kwame Nkrumah, Nnamdi Ezekwe. This university has these great alma mater who are the first heads of state, one of Ghana, the other of Nigeria. For them to be this petty and rescind and take away, well, not they technically haven't given it to them, but to back out. I don't care how you feel about Mahama. His honorary doctorate, that's not right. In fact, let's jump it. Let's look at this news clip. And they did it last minute too, which is crazy. Which is crazy. So Mahama is the president of Ghana. And Ghana has, like the majority of African countries. They have a policy when it comes to LGBTQ. They're like, no, we ain't going for it. But, black folks in America who are just loyal to the Democratic Party forever. And then this is not an endorsement for the Republican Party, the Green Party, or whatever. But golly, man, Jesus Christ. Our just loyalty is just to the Democratic Party. It's just ridiculous. To the point they were not forced to do it by the State Department. Come on, y'all. Water Angola, put the link in the chat room, and if it's true, I'll be like, damn, okay, well, it is what it is. So you want to tell me that the State Department forced Lincoln University to rescind their honorary doctorate? Over Ghana's LGBTQ stance? I'm not buying that. But hey, I'll be the first to admit I'm wrong. Just put the link in the chat room. But here we go. Fair use. Anua TV.
Desarrollador de software en un año ganando mínimo $2,000 al mes y trabajando.
Lincoln University a penny chain Legon. Ghana president, yeah president. Mesaju. Met me as one with this Jubilee House aba.
Okay. All right, it's in tweet, y'all. We're gonna back up. We're gonna back up. Here we go.
Speaking in Philadelphia, President Mahama highlighted it. Staying with President John Mahama, he says Lincoln University remains respected despite its decision to withdraw an honorary doctorate. The move followed concerns within the university community over his perceived stance on LGBTQ plus issues. Speaking in Philadelphia, President Mahama highlighted the institution's historic ties to Ghana through Kwame Nkrumah and said relations remain intact.
Lincoln University invited us. And I want to say that there's a historic link between Ghana and Pennsylvania.
So you were invited, and see, this is the shit that doesn't make sense. Excuse my language. This law in Ghana, it's called the Family Bill Act. We'll pull up a segment on it. This was signed maybe like 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago. So Lincoln University invites him 2 to 3 years later after it was signed, just to withdraw his honorary doctorate, as if they didn't know that was in place 2-3 years ago. That's why I don't get folks. And that's why this is just so petty. That's why if you're saying that the reason why they withdrew it is because the State Department said they will withdraw funding for giving him an honorary doctorate, then put in the chat. If not, this is just the Lincoln University just being bots, them bots. And again, this is not endorsing Republican Party or any other party, but come on. I mean, come on. Let's continue.
There's a historic link between Ghana and Lincoln University. Whatever disagreements have come up, for me, Lincoln University holds a special place in my heart. Because those are hallowed grounds for Ghana. It is part of our history. We cannot divorce Lincoln University from the history of Ghana. That is where our first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, was nurtured with his intellectual capacity and his Pan-Africanist spirit. And it was from there he took that spark and led the liberation struggle, not only in Ghana, but across the African continent. And so the grounds of Lincoln are hallowed grounds for Ghanaians, and will continue to hold that institution in high esteem.
Let me show you something that makes me furious every time I see it. This is a real tax return from someone making.
It just doesn't make sense. I want to look something up real quick. Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. You knew about this years ago, but you want to cancel it now? Or first, you knew about this years ago, you invite them, then you want to pull the plug. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. Can somebody help me out and explain it to me? So this bill was passed 2 years ago. Yeah, it's just it's ridiculous. You know, but this is the LGBTQ bill in question. Here we go.
We can now bring in France 24's international affairs editor, Philip Turrell. Philip, what is the reason for this law?
Okay, well, this law, I think, shows a certain hardening of the stance of and a shift to the far right, basically, in Ghana, which has come after calls from religious groups, Muslim groups, Christian groups, and traditional religious groups in Ghana, following the introduction and then closure of the first LGBT center in Ghana a couple of years ago, and then arrests of more people afterwards. This new law is making it much harder for gay people to live normal lives in Ghana. Not that they were able to do that beforehand, because already they faced 3 years in jail if they were caught having sex, for example, together. But this has made it much harder. Now, under this new law, anybody who is identified as LGBT, or if you know someone who is LGBT and don't denounce that person to the authorities, you can also face a jail term of at least 3 years. Second point, 5 years in jail for funding LGBT activity. That's what to do with associations and other organizations. And then 10 years in jail if you are part of an LGBT advocacy campaign for children. So it's all quite bad news for the gay community in Ghana. We've seen a tightening of the bill already, which now looks like it's going to go through and be signed by the president, who said that if the people of Ghana want it to be promulgated into law, then he will sign it.
I've been to Ghana, and I know it's a very deeply religious country, but it isn't the only state in Africa to have such strict anti-gay laws. Where is it safe to be gay on the continent?
Well, there is good news and bad news. The good news is that it's never been criminalized, homosexual activity, in 12 African countries. It's been decriminalized in 10 others. South Africa was the first country to allow same-sex marriage, and Namibia has now declared that same-sex marriage must be considered exactly in the same context as heterosexual marriage. So there is some progress. But if you look at figures in Africa on this map, for example, you still see that the death penalty can be upheld in at least 4 countries, 5: Somalia, Somaliland, Mauritania, northern Nigeria, and especially in Uganda, which has just passed an even more harsh anti-LGBT law last year. There are also a banning of homosexual activity in 31 out of 54 nations. So it is still a very difficult continent to live your life in freely if you are from the LGBT community, even if there are some cracks of light. This latest legislation being passed in Ghana certainly is pushing things back, and there's been this outcry from the...
One thing I understand is the obsession with liberals and wanting to push LGBTQ in Africa. Now, they won't do this in the Middle East. Like, they won't go and push this in the Middle East. But they want to push it in Africa. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Hey, love who you love, date who you want to date. But I just don't understand why they're so obsessed with advancing this in Africa, but they leave the Middle East alone.
United States, from the United Nations, from many other countries, saying this law should not be passed. Now in the hands of the president. We'll see whether he signs it into law. He's got 7 days to do that.
Outcry, but we need...
Go ahead, Passport King. Passport King, I can't hear you. Hey, listen, when you guys call in, make sure you got your Obama phones together, okay? Make sure your Obama phones are together. I can't hear you, Passport King. All right, guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, go ahead and click on the link and call in and add for the convo. But yeah, guys, when you click on that link and you call in, make sure you got your Obama phones ready to go. Shout out to Marie Shy in the chat room. You know, I tell everybody that Marie was on the first ever In Search of Uhuru tour in Africa. We went to Nigeria. She was on a tour, y'all. So shout out to Marie, y'all. Shout out to Marie. But guys, links in the chat room. If you want to call in after the conversation, excuse me, you're more than welcome to call in and add to the convo. Excuse me. Now go ahead, Passport King. Unmute yourself. Passport King, unmute yourself. Yeah,
Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm back now. I accidentally muted myself.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to look at this from a different perspective. First,
we can't hear you.
I got no problem with any nation, African or otherwise, how they want to run their laws. So they don't abide by LGBTQ. I got no problems with that, frankly.
Hey, Passport, you keep going in and you keep going in and out. Can you call like on a stable line?
Is it better now? Hold on.
It goes in and out. It goes in and out. You know,
hold on. I might have too many programs in the back. Let me try to close one on my laptop. Give me a second. Ah, damn it. I think I know what it was.
I'm gonna pass it to Ola while you get it together. Go ahead, Kid Ola.
Is it better now?
Well, hold on, Kid Ola. Kid Ola, mute yourself. Go ahead, Passport King. Go ahead.
How about now? Is it better? Is it more stable?
Yeah, just go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I was about to say is I got no issues with any nations, how they run their laws. I got no problems with them. Matter of fact, I think this LGBT nonsense that's been pushed since Obama, who is half African because his dad is African. So you can't put that on the black community. That's an African that pushed the LGBTQ agenda in the USA under his administration. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger
picture. but he wasn't raised as one. I mean, he was raised by his white mother and his father wasn't around.
We look, hey, you got the Ghana president just about 2 days ago was trying to claim the legacy of foundational Black Americans' ancestors by calling them Africans, but now you don't want to claim the half African Obama that pushed LGBTQ in the USA and gay marriage. Come on, you see. But anyway, let's step back. Let's look at the bigger picture of this situation. The fact that an African leader has to go to a university and not even an Ivy League school to receive doctorate in honors. And let's say you step outside the Ivy League school, the white schools. You got the HBCUs, which is historically Black colleges, which was founded and started mostly, yes, some was started by mostly formerly enslaved Negroes, the Black Americans here. I'm going somewhere with this. Where are the great universities in Africa that people around the world travel to study and learn, and different presidents aren't going to get honors? How come we don't hear about that? Now, it seems like
I will admit there is a lack of institutions in Africa. I will agree. Go ahead.
Okay, good. I'm glad we agree on that. Now, I'm going to pan out a bit and tie it back to a few days ago, even though it's not this specific topic right now. But since it is the Ghanaian president, I want to tie this to the whole ongoing debate, which I think is healthy, about why many Black Americans, where they go by FBA, Sulon, Freeman, were very upset and disgusted with Ghana's president, what they tried to pull the other day. And I know people try to wax poetic. They try to split hairs. Oh, it's not just about us. But when he was making the petition, not just in speaking or writing, you can hear them clearly referencing U.S. slavery descendants' history. Our ancestors are trying to make a claim for, Ghana somehow should head up reparations when they was involved in the slave trade. And now it seems like I'm just go over the place, but I'm not. The fact that he could be singled out and uninvited from a university shows how little power and influence he has even as a president of a country. And that's also another reason why we don't want Ghana nor any African countries appointing themselves to speak on our behalf. We don't need their help. It's always been the other way around, where African nations in the past and still today, they need help from us here in the USA. We don't need their help. And that goes for the Caribbean too, because we see now, especially in recent history, when they get involved, all they do is cause problems where they shouldn't have been any. Ghana was not talking any reparations previously. And I know someone trying to talk about something back in early 2000. That's garbage. They was not talking anything about reparations until Black Americans, predominantly foundational Black Americans, got it into the actual national conversation. And here they come trying to bogart. So I'm tying the two together. His embarrassment about that university is more proof why we don't want Ghana nor any other African nations claiming they're going to speak on our behalf. Now, if the CARICOM is cool with Ghana speaking for them, that's none of FBA's business. They're free to do that. I guess CARICOM would be the only one. I guess probably Brazil too, because they're not exactly CARICOM. If the people who are the Black descendants of slaves in Brazil want to work with Ghana, not FBA's business, feel free to work with them. But when it comes to us in the USA, Ghana, every other African nation, Caribbean too, need to keep. There's only two things you could do: you get behind FBA and support what we're doing, or just keep your trap shut and keep your opinions to yourself. We don't need your help because you're only going to make problems. And I'll land my plane there.
Go ahead, Kidola.
Oh, thank you, Dennis. I think I'll go on two things. Let me go with this so-called university and forcing gay people into this. Obama, his father might be African. Obama would never have been raised in Kenya or have any cultural thing to do with Kenya. Obama came into the lifeline of Kenya because he wanted to be pointed to where he's coming from, a root, so that the white people want to vote for him, they'll not be confused. Where is he really coming from? White people are very, very steadfast. Where you coming from? That's when he become a senator, he wanted to become a senator, he was creeping towards the Kenyans. If you check his record, even the Kenyans actually later part never really liked him even, because they thought he used them. This gay thing of a thing, it will be very difficult to promote it in Africa. Doesn't mean people that in Africa, some few of them are gay or something, some of them live their life. But to make a gay law, the only place I see where gay laws are being accepted or kind of like allowed to be gay is where there's a lot of white people. Namibia have a bunch of white people, Germans, living down there. South Africans, you have to understand, they start wearing skirts and giving those Black Americans, basketball players, NFL, those tall dudes, putting high heels on their legs, allow them to wear pink and everything, give them a little pause to hold, and say, okay, if these dudes are accepting it, look at Puffy, man, freaky. If these dudes are accepting it, let them go and meet the big ones. And that's how Obama came to Africa. Jonathan was out of power because of that, because they know Nigeria is not so stable at that time. They said, okay, let's just push him out. We are no white people. The problem with Black people, let's say Africans, sometimes we're too sympathetic. We don't know. Our yes is not yes, our no is not no. Sometimes, okay, let's just be, gray zone. That's what they're pushing it towards us. Compared to this university, this bloody man went to. What is in these schools? Do you think these guys just carry their bag and go to the United States? Oh, I like to study in the United States. No, the American government sometimes invites some elite or some people that think they are smart in Africa and bring them to those places. To what's called soft power. Who are you? Who are you?
Me.
The fuck? Let me think about damn shit, man. Do some nasty work
Go. I don't interrupt. Go ahead, Kedola.
So Azikiwe that went there or anything, what is Africa looking for doctorate degree for? In Nigeria, we have universities. These American universities are fucking corrupt. You know, we have one now that they refuse to bring the real thing out. You know, even 1980s, early 1980s. Even my dad came from university from this AM University in Telhamsey. They have to question my father to bring the original result and everything. My dad have to do it. You know, have to challenge to his professor to bring all the degrees that he, you know, the original and everything there. We start questioning American university, some of these so-called HBCU that you are calling, that we have in Chicago now that refuse to bring the real result. Some of these universities are really corrupt and corrupt like hell. You understand me? So there's no need. You have to be proud. Oh, let me go to United States because, oh, I went to United States, they gave me $1. You have to show your friends. We have powerful universities. University of Ibadan is there. We have University of Ife. We have all kind of university in Ahmadu Bello universities. You know, why must you go to United States because they want to tie that rope on your neck and say, I'm here. This is what is killing Africa. You know, the people that fought for independence of these African countries never romanticize United States like this. That's why people say, oh, when the Malcolm X came, nobody give them attention. Because they are fighting for their own life. They don't give a damn what's going on. What's going on in the United States? They're fighting the British. You know, they're Julius Nyerere and all these dudes. So that guy should not be on the high horse. Oh, we don't want Africans to talk about. You talk on yourself. What this guy did. You so-called FBA, you people don't know the channel to that UN. In England, can you both enough to go to England and say, give me reparation? You people see the white Americans. Who fund United States? Not the British? Go to England and knock at that door and say, give me this shit. Thank you, Dennis. I'll be listening.
All right, go ahead, Affinity. Unmute yourself, Affinity. Infinity, unmute yourself.
You can hear me? Can you hear me?
Hear you now. Go ahead.
Yeah? Do you see my avatar? Do you see my avatar? Passport King. Do you see the avatar? Do you see that coin that was given to the British from the people on the Gold Coast from 1664 to 1830? That was England's currency from us during slavery. You best be careful. You best be very careful about what you're saying. When that Ghanaian president,
okay, that's nice, but what that got to do with FBAs?
Yeah, we don't care about your business. I don't care about your business. We didn't go there for you. We went there. We went. Keep your mouth shut.
That's a nice coin. No. You mentioned my name, so I'm answering you.
Fucking rubbish. Keep your mouth shut. Keep your blasted fucking mouth shut. You fucking cunt. You FBA bastard. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth, man.
Let me tell you.
All right. Go, Infinity. Go ahead. Infinity. Go ahead.
We didn't go there for you. We went there with South American countries, Caribbean countries, and African countries. We went there to speak about opening up a debate about slavery in total, not specifically for Black Americans. The neo-Nazi Donald Trump has shut down your claim for reparations. Clean. You're out of the question now.
Ghana included Black Americans, and we have a right to say no. No, we were included.
Look, you have nothing to do with the situation.
Listen up. You sound like an emotional woman on her period. Okay. Then why did Ghana go to the so-called African burial ground in Manhattan? You know who's
rubbish. Shut your fucking mouth. Shut your fucking mouth, man.
You talk about African people.
Hold on. Infinity, you got 1 minute. No one interrupt him. Go ahead. If you got 1 minute.
Yeah. We didn't go there for you. We went there. We went there for slavery. About slavery. About the situation of slaves on this during the transatlantic slave trade. People from Ecuador or Brazil, blasted all sorts of South American countries were backing us up. We went there all together. We didn't go to the Pacific to claim for what are we going to claim from America? We have nothing to do with American slavery. So what are we going to claim from the United States for? So don't make up some stupid flipping statement. I don't like what you're doing at all. And this is the thing what the Ghana president said as well. Said African countries are not trying to claim money for reparations for slavery. It'll be immoral because we were actually enslaved. He said that specifically, and he still come out of effing rubbish. I don't like you people at all. You best be careful. You see that coin, you ain't getting none of it. For the 13 colleges, you're not getting none of it.
You don't control the US government, moron. We dealing with our US government. That's where we getting our reparations from. That got nothing to do with CARICOM. That got nothing to do with Ghana. That got nothing to do with the African continent. See, we don't have to run to the UN. We got our own government.
You cannot handle it. You cannot handle it.
What country you in right now? Because you got a heavy accent. Are you in the Caribbean? Are you in the UK? Or are you in America?
Do you know why? Do you know why? Look, do you know why you went to the United States?
Right now?
Do you know why you came to America?
Or you in the UK? Or you in the USA?
Keep your stinking mouth shut. Do you know why I don't respect you? Do you know why you went to America? Do you know why you went to? Do you know why you went to? Do you know why he went to America? Do you know why?
Wipe your eyes. You sound like you're crying.
Do you know why he went to America?
That's
where the fucking United Nations offices. That's why.
Do you need a Kleenex?
If it was in London, he would have gone there.
Do you need some tea and crumpets? Do you need a
stupid
Kleenex?
Fucking wanker. Shut your mouth, you blasted batsy boy. Yo, blasted.
No,
shut your mouth.
All right, guy. I gotta read this super chat. I pass the mic to Afro Man. Let me read the super chat. Volvo ran 6090. Thank you for $2 holla. It's Passport King from the Caribbean. Passport King.
No, but I think you're from a graduate from special education because that's what they do now.
Idiot. Look, you see that brain.
We're not going to support you. So this is what they all claim. They all claim that I'm a Caribbean who's pretending to be FBA. That's their grand strategy.
Okay, all right, I gotta pass the mic. Go ahead, Afro Man.
Hello to your panelists and to the audience tuning in. Let me first correct something that I think his name is Passport King said. He seemed to have asserted that like why are Africans looking for universities outside of Africa to be given honorary degrees? Evidently, I'm not sure Passport King knows how this thing works. It is not the honoree who looks for the university. It is the university.
You twisted my words. That's not what I said. I made it clear earlier. Africa doesn't have any great universities that people go to study tour in. That's was BS. What I stated. So now you can speak.
That's BS. Because
okay, then tell me what great universities are in Africa that people travel around the world to go study.
So let me correct you. There are African universities listed on the global index where they list the universities.
All right, cool. Which ones?
Tell us. Okay.
Which ones? Name them. What country?
Hold on. Passport King, let them finish. Passport King. I'll pull up the global index. Go ahead, Afro Man.
Okay. Pull up the global index.
But go
Most
ahead.
of them, the best ones are in South Africa. You have Al Azhar in Egypt. You have University of Ghana in Ghana, and a host of others. You have some in Kenya, Namibia, whatever it is. Okay. And so it is the university that seeks out for recipients to award them based on certain work that they believe is meritable. But Dinah, let me ask you this question. Is Lincoln University not HBCU?
It is HBCU.
Okay. So now my question is, it is interesting why an HBCU would make itself or lend itself to the LGBTQ. Is it the case that African Americans are becoming the new face of LGBTQ?
Oh, hold on. We're not the new face. We've been the face.
Okay. Okay.
we've been the face.
Hold on. Since
You're
you
right.
want to play that game,
You
when
are
you
right.
look at
Now,
hold on. When you want to play
hold
that
on for
game,
what?
if you
Shut
hold
up.
on, if
I
you go
am
to
on the
most
floor. Keep
HBCUs,
quiet. I'm
look
on
at
the floor.
administration. You got Africans up in there.
Passport,
That's when they
passport.
went
Hold on,
downhill.
passport king. We gotta. Yeah, but I mean, we've been in the face. It's, we're just so loyal to the Democratic Party that
Exactly.
we got to be the loudest of everything. So
That was
yeah,
my point.
we are definitely the face of the LGBTQ community
Exactly.
globally.
And
But go ahead.
I blame it, as you said, on the Democratic Party and your adherence to those liberal values. Okay, it is destroying the Black community in America, but it has heavily destroyed the Black community in America. And I am happy that that destruction stands afar off from Africa. We should not allow ourselves to be destroyed in such a way that African American community has been destroyed in America. And I'm happy that the president did not budge. Okay. He kept his principles and said, nope, Ghana is a sovereign nation and we will not kowtow to any foreign power, including the United States of America. And I think it is shameful that an HBCU would lend itself to be a vessel for such debauchery and vile propaganda as trying to force us to accept principles that are un-African. And African Americans should not lend themselves to such I think vile agenda. That's what I have to say.
All right, let's go up to these Royal University rankings real quick, and I'll pass the mic. All right, so I'm just trying to see. Right now, it's like all the top universities are in Europe, China, and the U.S. There's a couple universities in China, Asia. Okay. All right, I'm just trying to. We gonna find one in
Which
Africa.
index is that?
This is the Times Higher
Okay,
Education.
Times. Okay, Times. Okay.
All right, let's see here. Asia. Come on, Africa. Come on, Africa. I'm rooting for Africa. Come on, Africa.
You should have South Africa there. The University of Pretoria, University of Wits.
Somebody needs to mute up.
Look on the
You got
list.
some
It says
background.
sellouts and clowns.
You got Passport. You got to mute yourself, man. You got just too much background noise. You got too much background noise, Passport King. All right, y'all. Okay, come on, Africa. Come on. Yeah, we're gonna keep going. So now we're in the top 100. Well, going to the top 200. University of Cape Town, 164. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I said. You find South Africa.
Yeah, and we all know how students from all over the world can't compete to get into University of Cape Town. Are you kidding me?
There are more students fighting to enter University of Cape Town than any HBCU in America.
Okay, yeah, okay, Whatever narcotics you on, get help. You can't handle it.
All right, let me pass the mic to, let's see here. That was CD. Go ahead, CD.
Hey guys, it's Dennis. Yeah, the topic is why the Ghanaian president, they did not give him the honorary degree. Yeah, I guess he did not decide that he wanted to get a degree. This was decided a couple of years ago, as he said, Dennis. So his expectation was they were going to give him the honorary degree, and he turned it down because of whatever LGBT things that the liberal trying to push on everybody, and that's a good thing because if they can see that Africa is resisting LGBT, which is a good thing, you know, that honorary degree don't mean anything, especially from HBU. So, and I think that was a very good image for Drama Mahama to show to the world that we don't support that nonsense. You know, that's why, you know, Black communities being destroyed by the whole LGBT. You know, specifically, Dallas, your city. I went to Atlanta. You couldn't even tell the difference between men and women. Almost men chasing.
Hey, leave my city alone.
No,
Leave
no,
my
no.
city alone.
That
Leave my city alone.
So I was shocked when I went to Atlanta on a job. See the amount of beautiful women in the club, and all the men are chasing men. You know, married men chasing men. You know, it's a complete disaster for Black people. I'm sorry to say that the liberals have caused a lot of damage to the Black communities. It's unbelievable. That's why I don't even vote in this country. There are certain things with the liberal that I don't like, certain things with the Republican that I don't like. I would a little bit take side with the Republican compared to the Democrat, the liberal. They have caused a lot of destruction, a lot of damage, you know, which is unrepairable as I see, because if you see people, you know, being or LGBT member in their life, they regret and they commit suicide, there's something wrong with it. If it was a normal, people won't be committing suicide. If you see 14 years old, you know, going through all that process, becoming transgender, down the line they commit suicide, there's something wrong with it, right? So it's sad that Black people are the one that really, you know, welcoming it in all Black, you know, Black community. So sad. With John Mahama going to UN, first of all, this was about United Nations. That's why the FBA don't even know what he spoke about. This was for the entire world. It was 3 countries that voted against it. That was Israel, Argentina, and US against reparation for slavery. He did not speak on behalf of FBA.
Yes, he did.
So the whole thing was about Black people going through. This was about United Nations. This was not
Wait a minute, hold on.
No,
Let me
Passport
finish,
King. No,
please.
Passport. I got to pass the mic, Passport King. Go ahead.
This was not even about United States alone. It was for the entire world. 3 countries voted against it, right? There were a lot of South American countries voted in favor. There are a lot of Caribbean countries voted in favor. There were some European countries abstained from voting. Some Asian countries abstained from voting. So basically, it was not about US. That's why you guys have to understand. So and even if he say he spoke for the FBA, if you don't have a leadership and someone come and spoke and make a general statement on behalf of Black people, why you should have issue with that? Right. So I don't understand why that should be a fight. You know, comparing school system to Africa, I went to school in Sierra Leone. I went through the curriculum. We used to receive student from US as a student exchange program.
Even
Maybe
white
you will
people,
see student coming from the US going to school in
you're
Africa,
just ignorant. All the
and the student will come from Africa and go to school in the US on the
Hey,
student
CD,
exchange
you
program.
got 30 seconds, CD. I got to pass the mic to Elvis.
Yeah, so we used to see how the American student when they go, but they struggle a lot. Right. I did pre-calculus in high school or calculus. I did it here in second year. So basically, when you look at the standard of education in Africa, it's no comparison to US. Because I've tried both. I've did both. And I know how Africa curriculum is very strong.
City.
Right.
So that's what we call additional in Nigeria. We call it additional mathematics. Thank you,
exactly. So they do those things in Form 5, Form 6, right? Here you have to do it in second year in college, right? So going to school here was just for me like a review. It was nothing difficult.
CD, I got to pass the mic. Go ahead, Elvis.
All right. Thank you, Dennis, and hello to the panel. I disagree with you respectfully, CD. I think to say that the educational system in Africa is stronger, i.e., better than that of the United States. I think that's not accurate.
Well,
You know?
from
No,
my
no.
experience, obviously, I'm not
Okay.
saying all of it. I'm not going to make a general statement like that. But my
No.
experience from Sierra Leone in comparison to here, I feel that I had a very good foundation from Sierra Leone coming over here. That's what
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Point,
I'm
point,
not making
point,
general comparison.
point taken. Okay, let me just continue, right? So I think the situation with the president of Ghana and Lincoln University, of course, many people may know that the party of the current president is the same party of Kwame Nkrumah. And of course, Kwame Nkrumah went to Lincoln University here in the United States. So there's that link between, the institution that is Lincoln University and the political institution that John Mahama heads as the president of Ghana. So I guess there was a correlation between those two institutions. But also in the United States of America, we have to realize, many people who perhaps went to college and even those who didn't go to college, you understand that a college campus, is for everybody. Gay people, your rights are protected in this country. There are gay faculty, members in colleges and students and so on and so forth. People of different walks of life go to universities, and there should be their sexuality, their race, their gender, all of those things are protected and should be respected. So for those of you who are enlightened and have gone to
Elvis,
college, one
Elvis,
second, please.
sorry,
I'm in flight,
sorry,
please.
sorry, sorry, sorry. Just 1 second. I just want to say Howard University is the best ranking HBCU on the Times, and it is listed as 351 to 400. Okay, that is the best HBCU ranking university.
Yeah, that's not my point. My point is not about ranking HBCUs
So
globally.
University of Cape Coast is ranked better.
But
Elvis,
that's
please
that's
continue.
that's South
We
Africa,
got to get back
brother.
up. Go
May
ahead,
I
Elvis.
chime
Go
in,
ahead, Elvis.
sir?
Let him finish.
No,
Right.
no, you can't chime
So
in. Go ahead, Elvis.
yeah, so my point here is that this university, where I'm sure many people are a fan of, Mahama within the university, but they also, this is the United States of America. They also have to consider, the rights and respect the sexual orientations of some people who may even be in the faculty and the student body. So you've been here where you see people who have divergent or even offensive political views be banned from going to certain universities because they offend the student, some portion of the student population. So this is not something that's new. And as African, we understand it that yes, on the continent, homosexuality is taboo and so forth. But in the United States, if you consider here in this country, you know that your race, your sexual orientation, all of those things are
So,
protected, especially.
Elvis, my question is, why even invite him in the first place?
That's what I'm saying. I know, the president of Ghana, I know maybe you haven't been following Ghana, but before he became president, when he was out of office, when Ado was there, I followed him. He was here in the United States lobbying people like Ted Yoho, the former representative, and a lot of other, fundamentalist evangelical Christians going to different University of Utah and other places like that, trying to lobby support for his re-election bid that he eventually won. So he is a Christian, which is good. I'm a Christian as well. But in the context of the United States, certain things are protected federally. So when you have a school like an HBCU that receive federal funds, they can discriminate or bring out policies that discriminate against people's sexual orientation, their gender, or their race. So those things are probably going against the school policy in terms of discrimination and protecting the rights of students.
That's the hypothetical. But go ahead.
Yeah. But Dinus, you know how things are in this country. You're American, you went to school here. So certain things are protected federally, and even on campuses, you can't discriminate against people for certain reasons.
I need to see something where they had to rescind his honorary doctorate or withdraw it because they were in violation of some type of federal law. I just need a
Right.
statement from the university. The university.
Yeah, I'm using language, and that's why I said probably, but we know how this country works. So the fact I'm sure people they had internal.
I'm not buying that, but go ahead.
Right, I'm sure they had eternal conversations about, how certain people may feel. And again, it's true that a lot of people. Now, I won't say a lot, but yeah, there are gay people. It's as uncomfortable as it is. There are gay people in the Black American, in the African American community, and those people don't want to feel marginalized and ostracized. simply because of their sexuality. So they should be accepted and welcomed within university campuses and within faculties, of universities. But then if you have somebody who is a respected, president of Ghana, for example, who have espoused views that is antithetical to their sexual orientation, they might feel some kind of way about it. So, I mean, it's a complex situation, but again, United States, their social, structure is different than that of Ghana. And I understand that. But I just want to give you my 2 cents. I'll pass the mic.
All right, go ahead, man in the High Castle.
Good evening, gentlemen. Rise and shine, proud Americans. It's the man in the High Castle, and I have a question for the panel, specifically with Brother Kwame Nkrumah. Did you know that when you travel to Egypt, where he met his wife, that's only a 5-hour trip? But if you travel to Pennsylvania from Ghana, that's 15 hours. If you travel to South Africa from Ghana, that's 4 hours. How come he took this trip to Pennsylvania to study there? That's a long way. But he found his wife. But he found his wife in Egypt.
He didn't find his wife in Egypt.
He found his wife in Egypt. That's who he's married to. He's married to.
Sorry,
so you're saying he wasn't married to an Egyptian woman born in Egypt?
No, he was. He didn't find her in
All right,
Egypt.
so what are you talking about? He found his wife in Egypt. He went to propose to her in Egypt.
He didn't. That's a lie. He didn't even meet her.
Her mom refused to meet him. Come on, y'all.
He never met her until she traveled to Ghana. That's a lie.
Does it matter?
Exactly.
Does it matter?
See, this is wild, y'all.
No, hold on. I understand where man in the High Castle is coming from. I go ahead, man. I understand.
I'm not shaming this man, but who paid him to? Who financed this stuff?
Oops, they got real quiet. You see that man in High Castle?
The OSS. The OSS.
Who financed who?
Who financed this young man's travel, his first plane ticket, his first ride on a plane? Who financed this in the 1950s? I'm not criticizing. It's just let's just look at the information.
The information is in his autobiography. Like, this is not a mystery.
Let's look at the information right here, briefly.
Man, High Castle, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, sir.
Was that just a long pause? Like, I mean, come on, I got to pass the mic. So let's
pass the mic.
All right, go ahead, Pastor. All right, Pastor King already went. Go ahead, Kunta, unmute yourself. Kunta, unmute yourself.
Yeah. Good evening. Oh, sorry, it's evening in Nigeria. This is the first time I'm ever gonna join this chat. I'm a huge fan of yours, Dennis. Thank you for having me on here. Okay. There's been a lot of conversations, so let me start with the topic at hand. I feel like they're trying to more or less pressure the Ghanaian leadership by trying to send a message to him, since he's already on an international stage, and then there are so much eyes and attention on him right now, especially with the resolution that they passed recently. So they are trying to use some gotcha moment on him. And this is a ploy that has been happening for quite a long time, especially even 2 years ago when Kamala was in Ghana in 2023. And then she visited like the slave castles and all that. And then they were trying to bring forward the bill for homosexuals and all that stuff. So it's basically like a bullying tactic to make sure African countries dance to the tune of the American imperialist machine. And it's something that we must be wary of, because they don't play this shit. They don't play these things with the Arab or Middle Eastern countries. That's first. Second, I find it very disappointing and actually very upsetting that people will rubbish or ridicule the academic legacy of the African continent, bearing in mind that some of the very first universities ever on this planet were founded on the continent. And as a matter of fact, we used to have exchange programs even as recently as the 2000s, where we have even white people from the United States, from Russia, from the UK come as exchange students to study in our universities. I graduated from one of the best universities on the continent, the University of Ibadan. It's the very same university where Malcolm X got his Yoruba name, Omowale, that everybody calls him, that he called the greatest treasure of his lifetime. So the idea that we don't have any academic, of course, the infrastructure is terrible and we know that there's a lot of work that could be done. Sorry, but then the idea that we do not have the academic rigor to compete at the global level is just asinine to me, and it's very, very disrespectful. And this specifically goes to people like Passport King, because he was the very first person I heard who tried to rubbish or ridicule these things. A lot of our African revolutionaries and national heroes, many of them were educated on the continent. Some even went abroad to like further their studies. So where exactly is that ignorance coming from? That's actually very funny. And finally, to the question regarding Kwame Nkrumah's choice of partnership. Yes, his wife was an Egyptian Copt, and then he studied in the United States, because as of the time when he was studying, Egypt was still more or less like a British colony at that time. I think they gained their independence like in the 1920s or so. So there wasn't any academic, there wasn't any enough institutions for him to pursue his academic career. So he had to go to the United States, just like many of the other African revolutionaries of that time, the Azikiwe's and the Julius Nyerere's of that time. So, and of course, due to the Jim Crow and segregation laws of the United States, they had no other choice but to attend the HBCU. Pan-Africanism. I'm grateful to our Black American brothers who accepted and grounded the principles of Pan-Africanism and Black nationalism at these HBCUs, because it was very, very important towards building the intellectual and activist acumen that helped the continent on the long run. But with all that said and done, I feel like we could still have an avenue where there's cross-pollination of ideas and knowledge across both sides of the Atlantic, especially in the academic ground. We've had cases of W.E.B. Du Bois who retired and died in Ghana and then left the retinue of academic scholarship while doing that. The same thing happened with James Meredith, who came to Nigeria in the 60s, and as well many other scholars across the from the New World who came to West Africa and advanced in their own academic pursuits too. So thank you very much for the opportunity once again. Long live Pan-Africanism, and I learned.
All right, go
And
ahead.
I will attest to that. Africa
Let's be
has
clear.
had a better because I went to school to both places.
I want to pass the mic. Africa, go ahead.
Yeah, greetings to everyone, Dan and CD and the entire platform. Yeah, to be honest, I ain't got a lot to say on this, other than just chipping in, about cultural practice, in the Western world compared to what we have in the continent. These are two different things. Basically, I think, if the West want to adapt to accepting LGBT, it may be part of their culture. That's fine for them, but generally we can see, continental Africans and many others in the Middle East are quite objective to that. And I think people should be respecting others, cultures and their opinions, as long as other people are not suffering or marginalized. I mean, I live in a country where that's legal, so I have no choice. I have no say into that, and there's nothing you can do basically, other than going against their own values. And by going against their values, you're going against their laws. So that's one. So when it comes to freedom of speech, I'm already restricted. There you go. That's the world we're living in. But so the reality is, this is why we need to establish our own institutions and make them really strong, for the continent, that much more closer to our values, for our people and our future generations to come, and bind them together, because this is how most of these universities in the world were established. I pass the mic for now, Dennis. Thank you.
All right, go ahead. Hello. Go ahead. Hello. Unmute yourself. Hello. Unmute yourself. Hello. Unmute yourself.
It might be having technical issues.
Who's this?
Yeah.
Who's supposed to unmute them?
All right. CD, you wanted to ask something?
Can I say just 1 second? Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Kwame Nkrumah studied at Lincoln University.
Oh yeah, you'll get your acting up.
Dennis, I wanted to speak
That was the
to
British.
the Nigerian guy. He was making comparison. Dennis, I tried both. I went to school in Africa. One of the oldest university for our being in Freetown.
It's Fobe, yeah, Fobe College. Yeah.
Right, one of the oldest. Right.
Yeah.
Very good institution,
Beautiful
very
college.
good curriculum. They had American students that come there on a student exchange program struggling.
Right.
But when
Yes,
I
that's
left
true.
for Arabi, I came here, it was just like review for me. I was working full time, getting everything like very easy. American educational system is very, very easy. You may say that we don't have the infrastructure, but the curriculum in Africa is really, really tough. It is hard. Especially at that time, we have some students that went to Ghana and they went to Legon, right? We used to hear about Legon, Legon for Arabi. So saying that, well, we don't have good institution over the Diners, maybe, everything is based on what? Medias, they are not being
Well, I
promoted
mean,
by the
yeah,
medias.
I mean, but what's Fulbright College as we know it today? I mean, does it compete on a global level?
Right. And this
You know,
is
it did back in the day, but I mean
Yeah,
now it's just
it's sadly,
there's a
yeah,
lack of
sadly,
institutions all throughout. It's just it is what it is. There's a lack of institutions.
No,
yeah,
definitely. I
you're
mean, there's a big setback. What you say is true, but
big setback.
this
Yeah.
is a school that we had a student from South Africa, Cameroon, all over the
Mm.
world that went to that institution.
Oh
Right.
yes, it's
At one
it
time,
And
is
yeah.
right. Back in the days, I agree. Back in the
right,
days, it was the place
right,
in the whole Africa, and
yeah,
even someone just mentioned Zik. Zik, that's where Zik studied. Many African leaders studied in Robert College in Freetown,
yeah.
and
And
many
well, both
many
Njala, either you go agriculture, you want to do
Jala
agriculture,
University.
go to Njala or Furabe, right? Even
That's
even
right.
one of the things, the teacher college, what the name of that? The one that used to be in Freetown.
Which one is that? Teachers
Meti
College.
Maga, Meti Maga. Meti
Minty
Maga was a
Maga,
very
yeah,
good
Minty Maga.
institution too.
Oh yeah, yeah, you're
But
right.
but
You're
it
right.
seems like everything is just going down for some other reason. These are a school that was
The
really
war.
doing well,
The war. We
you
had a
know.
war in Sierra Leone City. We had over 10 years of civil war. Infrastructure were destroyed. Our institutions were destroyed. Many of the educated class, and left the country. Even Tony Blair, our former prime minister in the United Kingdom, used to lecture politics in Frobe College. That might, tell you something how important it was before the war.
That's
And
why
then
I
he
give
got.
more respect to the Creoles in freaking Sierra Leone because they were the educators. They were the one that most of the many percent of the
Yeah,
professors were
CD,
yeah,
I
it
got
was.
I got a question for you, right? What school did you go to in the United States, and when did you go to school?
I I graduated 2008 from Guru
2008.
College.
So that's pretty recent. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying that because I didn't go to college in Africa, but I went to college here. And for me, I mean, I can't really compare it because I didn't experience both of them. But for you, you said you experienced both,
Right.
so maybe there's a difference there. But I think the educational system in this country is probably in the top five globally.
No,
Especially
no. I mean,
tertiary
you have
education.
to understand this too. The reason why America is number one, first of all, when you graduate from school, yeah, there's a lot of opportunity. It comes with opportunity, right?
Mm.
And it's the internship, the leadership, the chances of you working in a big corporate environment. You have that opportunity compared to any other part of the world. That doesn't mean that the institutions that they have here is better than the other rest of the world. Because
Also, don't forget the professors. You have world class professors, depending on the school that you go to. But in most cases, you have world class professors who are,
I mean, if you're
published
talking about
and
world class
respected.
university, the still number one university in the world is Oxford University. It's just the
I'm
top one
I'm
in
I'm
Oxford.
confused of how come y'all don't go to Oxford University.
Oxford is the best.
But we
It's
do.
just the best in the
Of course,
world.
we do.
Yeah, there's some world
That should
scholars
be the
from here
goal.
who can go to Oxford, but Oxford is, it's the like one of the oldest universities. It's it's
And the
up there.
best. And the best.
We hear you. Yeah, we hear you.
It's not you hear me. It's just the best.
but even average, if you look at University of Liberia back in the days, even Covington, these are a lot of American students used to go to school in Liberia. I'll tell you this. Go back and check the history. We got a lot of students coming
I'm
to
not
Liberia
saying
on the
there,
streets
like
and
I said, I can't
programs.
compare it because I didn't experience both. But what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying
You
is,
because
know,
the reason why
yeah, sorry
someone
guys. You
said
know what
why
I
he
find
came to
interesting
school
also?
in
Do
America
you know
is
what I
because
find
of job
interesting, guys?
opportunity.
Yeah, sorry, TD. What I find interesting, my family members, they have loads of kids that are born in America, okay, and they're all grown up now. Most of these kids who went to Sierra Leone and lived there at the younger age and went to school. Some of them went to private school in Sierra Leone. Some of them went to public school in Sierra Leone, but they was born in the States, okay? Those that return back to America and do further education over there are the ones that really doing well after university, and they did well in university, and they further on actually going on to have good jobs. I don't know what that is, whether it's maybe they learned something different in Africa while they was there culturally, or maybe I don't know, but
No,
there's something about it. I don't know.
yeah, there's something. Look, you have to
The
you have to
difference
learn. One
is
second, CD, please. You have to learn how to learn, right? And that's one of the things that I've seen in some African communities. They don't know how to teach their kids how to properly learn because just getting information, ingesting, and maybe hopefully digesting it is one part of it. But knowing how to study is a key part because if you're going to college, you have to know how to study. You can't just read everything and consume everything. You have to know how to compartmentalize and and ingest certain information and keep the other for a little time. So I think in Africa where maybe the kids don't have the infrastructure, like people have study class, right? You have a study class teacher that who will come and like tutor you. Let me just use the word tutor. In Africa we had that as a kid. Not everybody have the money or the resources to have that. So a lot of kids who are going to public schools, they're at a big disadvantage. Some of them can come out and be really great, but if your parents have money and they can get you a private tutor, put you in a private school, have a dedicated person that come and teach you after school, you already have a big advantage over the other students. So maybe CD, if maybe you're just a savant, maybe you're just a great student, or maybe your father had the resources to really help you and prepare you, adequately to come and do well in the United States. It's not like that for most Africans.
well,
Holding the
Yeah, but
cookies.
I mean,
yeah, but most Sierra Leone and most people who was educated in Sierra Leone around CD time really did well because the education system and the institution were really strong. Okay, and that's just fact. And one of my uncle actually was, a minister of education in the country for a long time. And even during the war, he was actually spotted going to the state house trying to get money for education when everyone is running out of the country. This is how fixated people are in Sierra Leone when it comes to education. So, those days I can see why CD actually had really good education and also he's proud of it because it's one thing that we didn't take lightly in Sierra Leone. It's all about education. If you're a fool, if you're not educated, you don't like going to school, you're a class of school. Simple as that.
yeah.
And yeah, and I hope a lot of African countries learn from but sadly, not all educated people tend to have that, you know, um, live on to learn certain lessons because we see what happened in the country. We end up having a war, that destroyed the country, and a lot of us ran away, and we're still paying the price, of the war. So, but thank you, CD, for acknowledging
Hey
the
guys,
reality.
let me pass the mic to Hello. Go ahead, Hello. 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 Hello.
It look like
Okay.
Sound like a prank call.
Hey, Pastor King, I wanted to engage you on that.
No. Hold on. It's Bang's turn. Go ahead, Bang.
Everybody, how y'all doing? Dennis, man, can you hear me?
I
Yes,
hear
I
you.
can, sir.
Okay. Oh man, the Democrats, man, are back at it again. These Democrats, man, they like
Never
what?
failing. Always failing.
The election is about what? 2 years from now? They already, scratching the surface, man. We coming back with these so-called LGBT and stuff like that. So Ghanaians, man, y'all better watch out because the last time y'all try to pass that bill, Joe Biden, threatened y'all, right? And then what happened? The president, tuck his tail in, so-called the bacon of democracy in West Africa, Ghana. What a joke, right? But anyway, these are the things that, I wonder if it was China, if it was Russia or some other country that's well developed, would they be threatened, something like that?
No, of course
Because at
not.
the end
Of
of the
course
day,
not.
yeah, at the end of the day, these Democrats coming up here acting like they care about human rights, LGBT, whatever it is, they're trying to turn your child into your son into a woman. Hopefully that never happened to me. I'm a pray, man. But anyway, that's not in my
I
DNA.
pray
Because
too.
Fulanis don't, Fulanis, we don't get down like that. Allah don't bless us like that. Nah. But anyway, but you see,
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
They don't never go after these countries that have themselves in the right position. They always go to these countries that's not about like projecting power. Instead of African countries develop themselves, so eventually they could be in a position of authority. They don't want to. I always keep saying these things. Why you keep attaching to people and to entity that you said they don't like you guys, or entity that's like colonialism and stuff like that? Because down in DC, right? When you go down to Georgetown, right? Georgetown University and George Washington, right? You see a bunch of Chinese kids. I mean, the Chinese LGBT rule is 10 times stronger than the Ghanaian rule as well, right? But I don't see Democrats telling them, "Oh, golly, you can't come to our school. You can't bring, your so and so to our school." They just accept it willingly, because why?
Not true.
China. Oh my God, what do you
They've
mean?
never
Not true?
given an honorary degree to the Chinese president ever.
It's not about that. That's not the point.
Okay, that's what it's about here.
No.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I'm glad you caught that.
That's not the whole point.
Okay.
Now, look at how. Okay, let's bring to the Arabs, right? These so-called Arab nations, right? Look at their rules when it comes to LGBT. But look where they come and spend their money at. Look at where all the assets at in the Western countries, right? So then, how do you? Basically, what I'm trying to say is, all they do is just cherry picking to countries that are weak.
Are they giving honorary degrees to the Sultan of Omar or something like that?
Listen,
Stick to your guns, bro.
Elvis, universities get money from the federal government as well, right? We know that, right? Okay. If the federal government wants to stop a university into a lot of things, they can. Just like how Donald Trump did when it comes to the all these universities when they was talking about Israel. What Donald Trump did. He uses muscle, right? So federal government could do a lot of things. So at the end of the day, Democrats will be, Donald Trump is messing up, but Democrats are going to come back in power, right? People like Elvis going to beat their chest. Oh, LGBT, we care about the world and stuff like that. The Democrats don't care about nothing about LGBT. All they do is it's just a distraction. But Africans, if you don't want to develop your own entity, if you don't want to develop your own universities, this was.
I got a question for you. Was it Democrats that passed a law that said in the workplace and in public places that's funded by the federal government, you can't discriminate against people based on their race, their gender, or their sexual orientation?
Elvis, Democrats
that's a question for you.
LGBT. Elvis, Democrats have gotten out of control with this.
I'm here. I hear what you're saying, bro. I'm just saying.
I live in DC.
Wherever you work, wherever you go to school, you can't be discriminated based on things like your sexual orientation, your race, or your gender.
But Elvis,
is that a bad thing?
But Elvis, how come a lot of times it's not countries that could project power? It's always these countries that's like
That's not true. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Hold on. You have to have a conversation. If a citizen from Saudi Arabia comes into the United States as a private citizen and buy properties, right, and do business in a capitalistic system, that's not at the behest of a private or public institution like Lincoln University inviting them to do something or endorsing their actions. If a university bestow upon you an honorary degree, that's them giving you one of the highest honor they can give you, apart from actually earning a degree, right? So if they, for some reason, and this reason was that the president of Ghana and maybe his political institutions are not being fair in their eyes to the LGBTQ people that live in this country, and they decided to rescind that that honorary degree. That's their prerogative. They're not doing the same thing for China or Malaysia or other countries that's oppressing their people.
Elvis, I got you. First of all, right, you want to bring up so you saying all these Arab nations, right, that have so many assets in America, right, including sports, they taking over golf as we speak, right? They trying to take over boxing as well. You understand me, right? So are you saying all these entities, are they private owned? Oh, are they not under the so-called Saudi funds? They're 100% under the Saudi government.
Oh boy.
The United States government knows that.
You like comprehension, bro.
Hold on. What does it have to do with a country that has their own law? It's their own country. It has nothing to do with
Harvard University is not giving an honorary degree to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. They're not.
Right, correct.
Elvis, are you telling me the Saudi government don't have entity in America?
Did you hear what I said about privately owned businesses doing business in this capitalistic system? That's not the same as a
Elvis,
private institution
no, it's not private
giving an
institution.
honorary
It's
degree to
under
a
the Saudi
despot who is a
family.
dictator or a monarch.
No, it's under the family, Saudi's family, man. What are you talking about? Stop trying to put it as if like it's
I
just
mean,
individual
read the
business people.
topic of the show. Read the topic. What is the topic about?
No. What I'm trying to say is this, right? What I'm trying to say is this, right? No matter what, the Democrat Party, right? The so-called party, right? They go around and telling other nations, oh, LGBT, you know, this and that, right? So-called these universities. Who do you think telling them to do that? And then in the day, right? How come they not doing it to countries that could project power? They only do it to these African nations. They only do it to these African
I
nations.
think they've done it to Taiwan though too,
China.
but
Look at
that's about
Russia.
it.
Look at some of these some of these Arab nations. Their laws is 10 times worse than the bill that the Ghanaian passed couple months ago.
Dang, you know, check it out. You
Hey,
got all this energy.
I gotta pass the mic to Hello. Hello, unmute yourself.
Man, you Democrat lover.
Hello, unmute yourself.
Hi, Dynast. Hi,
Oh,
Hey.
finally, fine sister's voice.
I'm tired of hearing Africa this, America is God, the West is heaven, Africa is hell. Who's making all these structures? Who owns the media? Who is enslaving who? All these things. I'm tired of hearing because every one of us, we know the truth. No region is perfect. No continent is perfect. Otherwise, the West won't be killing themselves to continue to enslave Africa. They must have seen something special about Africa, even though Africans sometimes don't know what they have, what they possess. So, talking about education, that's why I'm here to give you a first-hand information that I do believe, as someone who studied in Africa and in the West as well, that for some reason, Africans that traveled abroad, be it poor, wretched, theta, or whatever you call it, come to the universities in the West and they outperform the so-called Westerners who speak better English. English is not knowledge. English is not intelligence. How do you measure intelligence? Man-made stuff. Who made those standards? Who are the gates, garden institutions? Who created structures to continue to siphon people's brains, harvest people's potentials and stuff like that? Just that Africans have decided to stay stagnant and not progress. The day Africa wakes up, it will be better. I would prefer that day to come. As an African, I will always be a proud African. I won't ask for a better continent. It doesn't mean that people cannot travel around. No one owns this planet. The planet belongs to all of us, to everyone. You cannot question me why I'm at the West, whatever, why I'm not in my country developing it. In America, they went through a lot of wars and instabilities before they got to where they are now. Who are you to question me of my freedom wherever I want to stay in my life to study? You cannot tell me what to do. All I want to be is a better person for myself, for my environment, for my family, for my society, for my state, for my country, and for the continent of Africa, and maybe to the rest of the world that shows me love as well. So, for example, at one of the institutions here in the West, as an African, I don't speak good English as an English person because it's not my first language. And I say to an English person, I try to speak your language, but can you speak my dialect? No. But it doesn't matter. For me, I am in your place, in your country, and I'm studying here. And in the class, they were teaching human biology, and they were teaching psychology. And some of these students were failing so poorly that their English are better than mine. And they came to me and asked me, how do you understand what the teacher is teaching since your English is not your first language? It baffled them. And I said to them, English language is not about intelligence. It doesn't measure your level of intelligence, your level of understanding, assimilations, and performances in academics. It's an art. It's a talent. It's a creativity that you improve through different stages of lives. Maybe hardships can teach you that. Until you're in my shoes, you won't understand how my brain managed to develop, even though you created the systems to measure my IQ, and then you turn around and tell me that my IQ is lower. But in class, I score better than you. So how is the system of IQs being measured? Whose standard? So I had to start teaching those students, and they were baffled. I said, I can share my knowledge and teach you the secret of listening, understanding, assimilating, and delivering when the time matters under pressure. Okay.
Hey,
So
hello.
if
I
you
got
say, okay, I'm rounding
you got
up
20
now.
seconds. I gotta pass the
I'm
mic.
rounding up now. So Africa, with education, it's not terrible, but we can do better. We are not perfect. I hope we can do better with our institutions. And I don't really care about the LGBTQ, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I'm not against any LGBTQ. If anyone wants to be LGBTQ, fine. But live and let live. I'm not against anyone. I will show you love equally. As long as you treat me with respect and
Okay, I
dignity.
gotta
That's
pass
it.
the mic.
Thank
Hello,
you.
guys, real quick. I want to share this. So Prince Al Saud of Saudi Arabia, he has an honorary degree from the University of Central Florida in the U.S. So just wanted to put that out there.
So bang,
Yeah,
you're right then.
yeah, but
And he didn't get it from an
Dan is
HBCU, right? From a Democrat-sponsored HBCU. He didn't get it
No,
from
they
the.
just get
He didn't get it from.
they don't measure it by those Arab. They don't go after them. It's easier for them to go for the African. That's clear. The way you say is 100% true. So
No, when you
I mean,
say
I don't
they,
know
you're
this about
implying the
measurement
federal
that they use.
government. The federal government didn't resend the invitation. It was the university that rescinded it because they have a
and
culture
also
and it probably went against their cultural creed.
yeah,
Yeah,
Well,
but
that's
and
what
also
I'm saying,
Hillary.
Iris. Whether it's the
hold
university or
on.
not, the pressure.
I'm talking. The University of Central Florida. I mean, they gave one to Prince Mohammed outside. So
Okay,
It's not an
interesting,
HBCU. Had he
interesting.
got
Well, it's
a
still the
degree
University of Florida.
from Bethune Cook, had he got a degree from there, I would have thought maybe twice.
Yeah, but
Okay.
From where Hillary was coming from in the UK, sorry,
let me add this real
yeah,
quick, right?
sorry.
Let me add this
Mm,
real quick, right? If you live in a
mm,
democracy, right? If your
mm,
parliament passes a bill, majority, right? And then you as a
mm.
president, aren't you you know what I'm saying, like obligated to sign that bill?
Pass. Of course, you have to. It's a
Yes.
legal
So which
clause
means now the president of Ghana has no to go against it. He just gotta sign the bill. So what's that gotta do with
in
the
a
university?
democratic country. Yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. I mean,
and
that's why I don't
yeah,
understand
where
why these so-called
yeah.
ridiculous Democrats that come up here and tell us that, oh, you're not supposed to sign a bill that your people approve. At the same time, it will be the same African that come up here and tell you military leaders are bad for us. Democracy. Pitiful
Oh,
Africans,
don't
man.
go,
Pitiful
but don't go to that
Africans.
AES bullshit again.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah,
It's not about AES. It's not about AES. It's not about
mm,
AES.
mm,
It's how
mm.
anything they know how to like twist it and turn it so then it
No,
benefits
I got
the
your point.
so-called
I got your
argument.
point.
all right,
It
let me.
goes
I got your
both
point.
ways.
I gotta pass the mic to say James. Go ahead, say James.
Hi, Don, this is the panel. Can you hear me? I just got a phone call. I want to make sure that you can hear me.
We hear you. We hear you.
Okay, got it. I just want to congratulate Dramani for the leadership he displayed this week at the United Nations Assembly, and through the speech he delivered at I believe at the University of Lincoln or whatever he was at, And since he's back to office from 2025. I saw that his administration saw an inflation drop in 13.7%. That was one of the biggest drops since 10 years in Ghana. Coupled that with reduction in fuel prices. And you can also see in Ghana, people are reporting reduction in the weight of the dollar against the cedi, providing some relief to the Ghanaian households. I believe these are actions from this government that we should bring forth to discuss because he's been back to office since 2025 and the Ghanaian people are already seeing, feeling some sort of relief through his actions, right? And on the subject of LGBT, you can see Mahama, explicitly declaring his opposition to LGBT practices. He's rooting that through his faith, and wanting to protect the traditional Ghanaian family values. So I believe the University of Lincoln already if they did their research, they would have known where Dramani stand from these practices in the West. And I get it. Like what someone already said, they get the funding through the federal government, and they have to abide by certain rules and policies. That's why Dramani, did not get the degree. But also, as Africans living in America, we have to set our president when they visit foreign nation. We have to set them to look better on the world stage, right? What we saw here, I think we can use this as an opportunity, to prepare better when they come to the West. They can, I'm not saying Dramani didn't do his part, he did his part, but the idea of coming here hoping to receive a degree and then not receiving it, I feel like there was a missed opportunity, because that shouldn't have even been an issue if we were prepared, right? We would have said to them, if you want to give that degree, then you have to come to Ghana. Since we have a little, we're not sure if we will get it or not, then you should come to Ghana for that. So I would hope that happens next time. I also heard about, people comparing the Africans, universities in America and the rest of the world. I think this is a great debate to have as an African, because I did come here to America to study in university. I came here after my high school, and based on what I have learned in Africa before getting here, it prepared me better to succeed in America. I didn't even see anything wrong with what I was taught in Africa. I did very well in the universities here in America. And I heard that from Africans across the board. Those who came here with the only high school diplomas, they did very well. So as far as the universities go, I didn't go to a university in Africa, so I can't compare. But I do understand that, the Western university are kind of a little over the top. I give them that. But the rigor that Africans were able to get through the education in Africa can also, when we come here, we can compete. We're not far behind. When we come to the West, I don't see Africans lacking here. They don't. So we're not behind. We can check this record and find out that Africans are everywhere they go. England, America, France, Canada, our Africans always excel in academics.
Sir, you left
That's
your
a
people
fact.
behind, so you are behind.
Bro, sir, I'm not. It's Friday night, man. I don't want to go there with you. You see, and I'm very sad to see the FBAs, right? I see a protest in New York with about 5 people, standing in the cold. I don't know, protesting. Ghana, why didn't they use that as an opportunity to request a meeting with the African Assembly there? Just to understand exactly what they were there for. Instead of standing there being paid by some people who will never advance your agenda in America. They will never. But you see this African leader, he got 123 countries behind him. All 54 countries.
Now all money is good money.
No, that's fine. Listen, everybody can play politics anywhere, right? You play politics. Africans are not, we didn't put ourselves in position to gain financially from this. Maybe you do, and that's why you're doing this, and we understand. Like you said, I heard you, right? No, brother, let me finish. Africans in America, if that's what, your problem that you're having is Africans in America, we already stepped aside to let you guys go against the U.S. We did that from years. You've created your ADOS movement. You created your FBA movement. Africans never stopped you from creating those movement. We did not. So now you can hear your own government telling you what it is about where they stand on slavery. They told you that. So this has nothing to do with Africans. They already explained that to you. Let me finish.
But if you're still here in the United States, you're taking up an American spot right now. It's time to go.
Relax.
It's time to leave.
No. Let him explain. What did our government tell us? Because he seems to know something that we supposedly don't know. So please explain. What
slavery. The U.S. government say when slavery was happening, there was no international law that prevented them from doing so, and they're not gonna accept it. And there is not even a discussion to be having towards that. That's what they said. At the UN, that's what they said. They said slavery was legal in Africa and internationally. There was no law, regulating that. Therefore, they are not at fault. That's what they
Who
said.
stated that? Who stated that?
While the representative of the U.S. at the
Those
UN
were his
Assembly.
exact words.
No,
Yes, that's what they
that's
said.
not what he said, St.
Wait
James.
a minute.
Okay,
Those were
okay,
his exact words?
okay.
He said that Ghana didn't have a course of action because it wasn't injurious to them for slavery. They wasn't the victim of slavery, and as
There you
such,
go.
He said a whole host
they
of
were the
things.
wrong
That's
complainant.
not all what he said. He said a whole host of things.
No.
All the countries that voted no, most of them have their own excuses. I'm just
No, you're not
compiling the
compiling.
feedback.
Twisting
Okay,
words.
okay. But listen,
Africa, we coming for
while
our
you
checks.
listen,
Trust me.
while you here doing this with us, right? Why don't you go to the U.S. government? Give about 50% of your energy that you are
St.
giving to
James,
us.
you have to understand their point,
No,
right?
it's Elvis. I'm not talking to you. You're not Black American. I'm not talking to you.
If you're
I'm
bringing the
not
course of
Elvis. I'm not
action,
talking to you. This is
you
my
have
time.
to
I'm not
show
talking to
that
you.
you were victimized
I'm
by that
not
action.
talking to you. I'm
And
talking to the Black
Ghana was
American
not
who are
victimized by the
FBA.
slave trade.
I'm talking to the FBA. I'm not talking to you, Elvis. I'm talking to the FBA.
Sir, stay
Like
with your tribe. Let
again,
them talk.
When you had no right.
again. Hear me out. We opened the floodgate for you guys to go after the United States. We did that.
We ain't asked Ghana
Ramade did that. Internationally, he did that.
Not in talks
So
with
he's
Ghana.
not against Dramani. Is not against. Listen, the country that backed Dramani, they're not against Black American going after
We didn't ask them
reparation.
either, and they didn't come.
Right, that's fine. That's fine. But but you are saying that when we talk about slavery, Africans shouldn't be talking on the behalf of African. Listen.
Hey, hold on, Mike. Don't interrupt him. Just say, James, you got 30 seconds.
Okay. What I'm just trying to say, Don, is I'm just trying to say that what Dramani and the backers of this bill did this week, they are letting everyone know that they support every single step that each group can take towards whoever they want to address that to. That's what it means. That means Black American, if they have a problem with America, they can go against America. They can go against the UK. They can go against anybody. That's what it says. So Africans are now on their ways. So the idea that we're going to sit here and listen to him telling us that we have to step out of the way, we already did that. That's what I'm trying to tell him. We already did that part. Africans are now speaking on your behalf in America in terms of reparation, and they will never do. They will never be compensated for what you have been through. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But you want to make this.
I got to pass him. Go anti-moralist. Go to anti-moralist. Anti-moralist, unmute yourself.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. So first of all, hello panel. Hello, my fellow African Americans. First of all, shout out to the president of Ghana for trying to push that resolution, and he actually was able to be successful. It's unfortunate the United States, Israel, and Argentina voted against recognizing slavery as a crime. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is, you know. According to them, it was legal, so that's a battle for another day. But I will say this: what happened to what in this incident for the universities with the LGBTQ stance thing, I honestly probably be honest with you, I probably don't really care, because at the end of the day, it's just let's build our own institutions. These institutions are here. I know why they're successful, but the real point I really wanted to bring up was something about the education system. A lot of people mentioned this, but I agree with what the last speaker said. Africans in general don't have a problem when they come here, and that's not only Africans. I've seen it. I have Asian friends, Chinese friends. They don't have a problem, and that's just there's a difference between an institution and the knowledge. For example, the people who know the knowledge. America pays well if you're a professor who knows what you're doing. Okay, all my professors, all of them are foreigners. Okay, 3 of my professors, the main ones, are Chinese. Okay, my math professor is from Nigeria. Okay, my other math professor is from Tunisia, a black man from Tunisia. Okay, and I got another professor from Togo and Sierra Leone. So I listen, and I'm attending HBCU. These people are well paid. Okay, so the United States competes well because they're well paid, and that's one of the things you got to realize. They're very successful, man. And also another thing is that the United States and most of these Western countries do rely on a brain drain from other countries. When you look at, like, for example, the United States, I'm in like the STEM field. Computer science, for example, about 60 to 70% of them are international. engineering 55, for example. And I know these stats because this is what I actually had to present. Why do you see a lot of these contributions are coming from mostly foreigners or international students? So I mean, you can be mad at the Africans, but you got to be mad at the Asians. But you know, really, people do get mad at the Asians, so they got to just pick on somebody they think they can get away with. And that's the thing when it comes to these kind of situations, man. At the end of the day, the United States pays well, and that's why these people go and basically get the education. For example, I'm a researcher. I work with my Chinese professor, okay? And this job is available to anybody. But most Americans don't apply for it. Why? Well, simple. It doesn't pay as well. And most Americans, when they go, it's not because they're dumb. It's because they go to finance. Finance makes more money, and you know, you're gonna get more success there than you'll be when when you're an engineer if you graduate. You know, engineering is very difficult, but it also doesn't pay well as if you work in Wall Street, for example. So,
sir, can you go back home now?
I can, like, if I want to. But
hold on.
Of course, that's the problem. You see, that's the thing. I can go back home, but you can tell the Chinese to also go back home.
Hold on.
I can go back home anytime, bro. Wait, what do you want to ask?
You know, it's like I know you guys are passing tests, you're excelling.
Hold on.
But can you build fresh water for your people?
Hey, hold on. I got to meet Anti-Morless. You got 45 seconds. I got to pass the mic. Go ahead.
Okay, so point is that the reason the United States does well is because they pay well, and that's the thing. It relies on these international students. You can get mad at the international students, you can get mad at the foreigners, you can get mad at all as much as you want. But at the end of the day, if your government pays them and wants them here and makes it easy for them to get here, I mean, you can get mad at the people, but why don't you get mad at your government? That's the thing. The government, Trump himself, he literally said when he was trying to replace the H-1B thing, he literally said, we don't have American workers. They're not that good. He said it on news, okay? So this isn't to say that Americans are not capable. It's just that you have to accept when you go into this field, you're probably not going to be paid much. And if you're going to get the best students to come here and the best professors to come here, you're going to have to incentivize them. The best professors, you give them good money, and the best students, they're gonna have to find a way to get here through scholarship. I, for example, got a scholarship when I got my bachelor's, and then when I get my master's, I had to convince my family that hey, I want to go and do electrical and computer engineering, and they had to agree. So that's why we win. That's why Africans do well, and also the education system in Africa. What it does,
I don't believe you.
When it comes to specifically preparing you in this step, okay? That's one thing that's very well.
He works for an Arab at a package store. I could tell.
Man,
sure thing, bro.
We get tired of these
You don't have an argument.
with fantasies. Y'all all super genius.
But I bet you drive a
I mean, to all the Africans on the panel, right?
That's a
Is
great
our
point that you
strong
just raised.
educational
That's great.
foundation reflected in our countries?
I don't know who's saying.
Our strong educational foundation, is it reflected in our countries?
Can you read
Hey,
it?
Darnus.
Is our strong educational foundation in Africa reflected in our countries?
Can you,
in Africa?
what do you mean by that? Because I can say
Because everybody, all the other Africans besides me, perhaps, have said that our educational system is great, it's
not at
rigorous.
all.
That when we come to the United States, we do well. So I'm saying that
I gotta pass the mic to Willie. Go ahead, Walsh, Willie, because we gotta close out. Go ahead, Walsh, Willie.
I mean, honestly, it was just unfortunate to hear the Ghanaian president, speak and hear what I felt was like a disingenuous argument that he didn't have.
It did well. It did well. The World War saw it. It did
The
well.
argument where he failed was when he spoke for me. When he talked about, and I've heard things about Donald Trump and, he's not like that and Black America loves him and he had this historical victory. Like, you don't have that authority to speak for me and my people. And also, that's just simply not
Come
true.
on, man. You guys
So
speak
I'm
on
saying,
Africa
hold on,
every
brother,
day.
hold on.
You
Let me
speak
finish,
on
brother.
Africa
Let me
every
finish,
day,
brother.
bro.
That's just
Let
an
me finish,
extension of
brother.
that 6 degree.
Let me finish, brother.
You
Right?
finish what? You speak on Africa every day.
No. I speak on. I don't speak for.
You
Right?
do that too.
I don't speak for Africa. I
What's
speak
on and
on
for
Africa.
is the same
So when he
thing.
comes up
No,
there
it's
and says
not.
that we
It is the
love the
same
Ghana,
thing.
you know what I saw?
It is
Another
the same thing.
purchased Negro. That's what I saw.
Man,
Another Negro in Western European pockets. That's
Go
what I
address Trump.
And that was
Hold on. I'm
unfortunate.
speaking. Willie, it wasn't the Ghanaian president that said that. It was the U.S. the U.S. representative that said that.
Okay.
Yes, for
We got that
Ghana.
cleared out
For
of the
Ghana,
way.
correct?
Huh?
For Ghana, correct?
No, for the United States of America, a white guy. He said that.
No,
And
no,
he was
no,
an
no, no, no,
immigrant,
no, no,
actually.
no,
No,
no, no,
there was
no,
a man
no,
said that. The Ghanaian
no.
said that.
I
No,
watched the
Willie,
speech.
what you just said as far as Donald Trump doing so much for the black community, and you
Yes,
know,
I watched
it,
an African
it
say
was it
that.
was
I
a, it was
believe
a
it
it
was
was
the
a white
president.
it was a white guy that said that. That
No,
was
this is
It,
not what
it
I
was the
watched.
white guy that said that.
oh
It was
This
the
is
white
not
guy.
what I watched.
Okay,
Willie. I
maybe
don't
you
know.
watched the
I didn't
wrong
watch
thing. That's what they're trying to tell you. You watched the wrong thing.
you watched the wrong thing, Willie.
Yeah, I watched the president.
No, you
I
watched the
watched the
wrong thing.
president speak.
Oh
And
Lord,
you're
I saw
you're
the
Jesus.
linking,
same
you're
thing,
linking
bro. There
exactly
was a
what he
black
said.
guy from Africa.
It was
You
the
watched the
I,
wrong
president.
I
thing.
heard a white
I'll pull it
immigrant
up.
from
I'll
America.
It
pull it
was
up.
the
I'll pull it up.
president. He got up there and he
Yo,
said, and I
wildin'.
don't understand why you said this about the Donald
Yeah,
Trump.
yeah,
He
yeah.
has been
You
very
see?
good to me, and he has been the
Mm-hmm.
best president for Black America. That's what he said.
Yes. Sir.
That
And
wasn't the white man.
Willie can't talk to Trump. That's the difference. You can't talk on
Anyway,
Trump.
the point, I've actually met him.
No, you
Not
talk to
something
him.
I'm super
You talk
proud
to
of.
him.
I'm more proud that I met John
No.
Starks than
Well, in the
meeting
back
him.
room, where did you met him?
I
You
met
don't
him in New
recall meeting
York.
you?
He's a New Yorker.
He doesn't recall meeting you. He live in Florida. He left
Sir,
you.
sir, I was born and raised in New York City.
So
That
who
is
cares
where
though?
he did. That is where I have slept in the Trump Plaza and Trump Taj Mahal,
Man, God
which right
damn, man. Who
now,
Oh
cares,
which
Willie?
right
Lord,
now
oh
is a
We
crack
Lord.
care,
house,
Willie. Willie,
which right
who
now is a
cares?
crack house, right?
Man, you know who was sleeping
Let
there
the
too?
man,
R. Kelly.
let the man,
Here's the
let
point.
the man
You know,
speak,
R.
man.
Kelly was sleeping at the Trump Tower in Chicago.
Willie, who did you say said that statement? Just so we can fact check it real quick. You might be right.
I was under the
John
impression that
Muhammad.
that was the
No, it was the UN
president
it was
of
the
Africa.
US representative to the UN that said that.
Mm-mm.
You know, you gotta require people to
He
be
watched the wrong thing.
making
That
Yeah,
was
live
the
I don't know what the hell Willie's
president
talking
of
about.
Ghana. He was
No.
talking about.
Was it
He
at the
was talking
UN or was it in a different venue that he said that statement,
It was
Willie?
I
at the
believe
same
this
He
was
thing
was
when
Trump
outdoors at the
venue.
time.
I
He was
believe
hold
that
on,
outdoors at the
Donald
time,
was
right?
there.
I'm talking when they were responding to Muhammad's speech when the US rejected that's what he said about Trump being so great to black people. Was the white dude. That
That's a
was
No,
fact.
Willie might be
The
That's a
talking
fact.
about
president
what
said it
Muhammad said
too.
outside of the UN,
The
not his
president
speech in
said
the
it
UN.
too.
I don't
Right.
well
Yes, sir.
Willie need to post a link in the chat room because that's
Bet. And we can watch
Now,
the
Donis,
speech
you need to
together.
play that. You
Bet.
need to play that.
Bet.
I'm trying to find it right now. I had
Right.
I put it up yesterday.
And Donis, there is a guy called Style 1785 that's talking rubbish in the chat, but I think that's one of these guys, right? I'm not gonna say names, but these are the guys they talk rubbish and they hide behind pseudonyms. They're in the panel too. You can watch it. No.
yeah, but St. James, these
No,
people,
we
yeah,
get
but St.
tired
James,
of
right?
all these
Let me ask you a
Wakanda
question.
No. These
forever
are
and
Africans, my
everything.
man. These are Africans. These are not Black American. The
Yeah,
person
but
I'm
hold
referring
up,
to
bro.
is
No,
not is
I
an
know that. I'm
African.
talking about something else.
Right.
Yeah, but
These
St. James,
Wakanda forever.
It was President
let
Mahama.
me add this real quick,
You know,
right?
we getting tired of these
Before the show ended.
Wakanda
Yeah,
forever
because
Let me add,
fantasies
he is
out of
close to the
Africa.
Republicans and the conservative. He lobbies them a lot, so he is trying to probably ingratiate himself
It
with
was
Trump.
President
So
Mahama.
it's not far fetched that he said it. That's why I was trying to figure out.
I'm just saying, just put the link in the chat room. You know.
You know, just not that.
Bet.
You know,
It
not
was a
that
good
long ago, there was a
soundbite. It was
major
definitely a
scandal in
good
the
soundbite.
UK. 700 African nurses had their licenses revoked and they had to retest because it turned out that they was all committing fraud in Nigeria. So will y'all start talking this nonsense about how y'all study so hard and y'all so smart? We got document cases like that. As a matter of fact, it's still ongoing now. Those nurses
I have a question. Do Africans you talk about nursing? Do Africans get their nursing degree in Africa and practice that here? I'm asking you. Do they get the nursing degree in Africa and then come on here and just practice nursing?
The accreditation is not the
So you're not
same.
going to do no
I know people that does that
what
from my
about
country and
What
come to
he's
the
No, they
UK
don't
talking
do
and
that.
about,
practice.
No. They don't get that. No.
real
what he's talking about is something that I personally know about, right?
I know people that done that.
There's a Liberian guy, right? There's a Liberian guy called Stanton Witherspoon. He gave out thousands of fake nursing degrees for $15,000 a pop. It was a whole, gambit that they ran. They made
So
$114
these are
million
fake
off of
degrees
that.
someone gave. These These are
Yes.
fake degrees someone gave,
So all
not to a
African
school.
nurses,
Not yeah,
West
you know,
Africans
Yeah,
who are
but
anyways,
working
there are
in hospitals.
American
Hold on,
fake
let me
degree,
explain. This
American fake
hold
degrees in
on,
America,
hold on. I hear
American
you.
fake
I hear you,
degrees.
right? I hear you. But he gave these nurses, he fast-tracked them. They paid $15,000 up front, and he fast-tracked them and gave them a nursing degree, and they were working in nursing homes and hospitals, unqualified. So what the
Okay,
brother's
Davis,
saying
I'm
is a
happy. I'm
factual
happy
point.
that you brought it up. Right? You know a
And they
university
got
called
caught.
DuBois
The UN
University that
went
don't
in
exist
too,
anymore.
counted
Do you know a
fraud.
university called DuBois University that doesn't exist
DeVry,
anymore? You know what they
DeVry
DuBois,
University. I'm
whatever.
not sure.
Yes.
I'm not sure
You know what they
if
were
it
doing?
exists.
You know what they were doing in America? You know Northwestern University that was popping in the early 2000s. You know what they were doing in America?
That's right.
The
Okay,
school
so
that
what about it?
those schools no longer exist.
What's the
You know
point?
why
No,
they no longer
Northwestern is a
exist?
respected
Okay,
university in Chicago, in Illinois.
Oh yeah, no. There's another one that was online. That one was
Okay.
not. Maybe I'm mistaken.
so
you know.
I
Well,
mean,
you know
we
what?
got
But
them all over the
you get
world.
the point, right? You get the point.
No
What
big
they were
thing. We got
doing.
them over the world.
you
All over
can't
the
We
world.
got
prove
them
it.
all
It's
over the
just
world,
it's
giving fake
positive. What
degree,
about this?
fast tracking
But what
student
about
because of
this? What about
federal
Yeah,
this?
funds.
Dennis, so the link in
They
the
did
back
all
is
that
the
in
second
America.
link. It's his speech at the UN where he
Did you
says
post
it
the link, Willie?
2 days ago. Yeah, it's the second link in the back.
So you're saying that we should look the other way when Africans get fake degrees, they cheat on tests because
Willie, this is
there
from
might
6
be a
months ago.
case
Hold
in
on, I'm
America
talking.
that has
Willie, this
it.
is from 6 months ago. Willie.
This is from 2 days ago. Oh wait,
No,
hold
the
on.
link,
Is
the
it as
second
if
link
what
he
the
gave
guy
me is
Hold
from
on,
was
6
hold on.
months ago.
Dennis?
Man, Donis, he's not gonna
Dennis,
find anything.
Dennis, I have a question
He's
for you.
trying to put it on
Dennis,
Dramani. He has
Dennis.
no
Yeah, but
Okay,
that's
Okay,
not,
okay,
that
here,
Willie is
okay.
not wrong. He said he gave the speech at
But
the
that's
UN,
fine. But
and he did give it
no,
at
it
the
doesn't have
UN.
no evidence.
This is
Even
the
the link
actual
is sent to
UN. This is the
Donis.
National Assembly.
Even the link is sent to Donis. You won't see what. Okay, sure.
Hold on. I'm gonna play. Let me play this
Wow,
here.
wow.
Second one, hold on. This is the second. Let's see what he says here. Will, you know the minute mark?
Nah. I didn't know I was gonna get grilled on it. I would have typed down the minute mark, but
The
he
Honorable
said
Minister
it.
of Foreign Affairs of Ghana and senior government officials. The chairman for this occasion was Saberima Kwesiata II, who's the paramount chief of the Ogua traditional area. Reverend Al Shapton, thank you for joining us at the African Burial Grounds this morning. Thank you very much. Members of the Congressional Black Caucus are here. Let's recognize you. Thank you very much. And for one of time, let me recognize our brothers from CARICOM, from Africa, and from everywhere in the world. Your Excellencies, distinguished representatives of member states of the United Nations, ladies and gentlemen, truth begins with language, with the power that words hold to shape consciousness and to shift perspectives to propel an action or other. I therefore offer this truth as a starting point. There's no such thing as a slave. There were human beings who were trafficked and then enslaved by people who believed they could own those human beings as chattels, as their personal property. Some will hear this and think I'm splitting hairs. Isn't that the same thing, they might ask? No, it's not. Not at all the same thing. Not if you acknowledge an individual's humanity. Not if you respect an individual's basic right to dignity. The entire transatlantic slave trade was designed to deny African people their humanity. And that denial was premised on a racial hierarchy with no basis in fact or science, a racial hierarchy that deemed whiteness superior and blackness inferior. The atrocities that were committed against enslaved Africans, the myriads of injustice that were born of slavery and carried forward into successive social framework took place specifically because those persons were considered objects, not human beings. So when discussing slavery and its resulting institutions and practices, we must always start by reclaiming racial equality, the dignity of Africans, the humanity of our ancestors who were enslaved, and as a matter of course, our own humanity. Recently, someone asked me to explain the importance of the resolution on the declaration of the trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans as the gravest crime against humanity. And I responded without pause or hesitation. And I'd like to share what I told him. This resolution allows us as a global community to collectively bear witness to the plight of about more than 12.5 million men, women, and children whose homes, communities, names, families, hopes, dreams, futures, and lives were stolen from them over the course of 400 years. I speak these words today not only for Ghana, but also in solidarity with the rest of Africa, the Caribbean, Latin America, and the wider diaspora, and indeed, all people of good conscience throughout the world. This resolution is a pathway to healing and reparative justice. This resolution is a safeguard against forgetting. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, violence begins with language. When words are weaponized or to codify abuse, when people are called out of their names, regardless of their state of dress, when slaves were captured, they were always stripped of their clothing while being kept in the dungeons of the fortresses that had been built on the African coast by the European traders. They were forced with their limbs chained and shackled into the hold of cargo ships. They remained naked, packed like sardines during the month-long journey through the Middle Passage. Not all those who were loaded onto the ships survived the voyage. A number of the ships sank with their entire human cargo. Others who fell sick were thrown overboard. And a few who preferred death to captivity voluntarily jumped overboard. It is believed that 10 to 20% of enslaved people died in the Middle Passage. Whenever a ship arrived at its destination, the enslaved people, still naked, were taken to the market where they were inspected and appraised like livestock. They were then placed on an auction block in front of an audience of potential buyers and sold to the highest bidder. Once they arrived on the plantation where they would work and live for a lifetime, they were also stripped of their names. And so you were no longer Fatu, or Kofi, or Bubakar, or Nanayao, or Emenka, Nayong, or Hamisu. You were given names like Ben, Jemima, John, Toby, or Mary. In addition to these new names, they were also called girl or boy, regardless of how old you were. And maybe I should also say that filthy N-word. If you ever needed a surname, it would be that of your master. And sometimes they were branded like cattle with the plantation's insignia or logo.
If you had to choose between flipping a house or
Man, this
flipping
guy's talking about
birds, what
everybody,
would you
man.
pick? Here's the
God
truth.
damn, man.
Land beats houses every time. And I'm going to show you why inside of my upcoming 5-day challenge. Where I'm going to teach you how to flip.
No, he's talking about everybody, man.
There
We
were
can
sugar
get.
plantations. There were also coffee, cotton, tobacco, and cocoa plantations in the Caribbean and the Americas. South America had diamond and gold mines as well. And also the production of indigo took place in Jamaica. The people who were enslaved labored on those plantations from sunrise to sunset. And the conditions under which they worked were brutal. They were beaten occasionally to the point of death. They were underfed. They were kept in cramped quarters and often died young, if not from labor, then from disease. There are even records of some enslaved women who were kept as breeders. Let's not mince words, ladies and gentlemen. Business was booming because when labor is free, profit margins are huge. African lives were disposable. If too many of the enslaved Africans died, more were captured from their homes on the continent, enslaved and trafficked. During conversations about slavery, the point at which euphemisms are introduced, and there's a rush to talk about abolition. But we cannot afford to look away. This is precisely the part when we should pay close attention, because the devil is in the detail. And I'm going to share 4 trafficking destinations with you. Remember, when you hear these numbers, that it's not about data. These are about human beings and human lives. Roughly 6 million enslaved Africans were trafficked to Brazil, which is the 5th largest nation in the world, stretching 4,400 kilometers from north to south and 4,320 kilometers from east to west. Almost 2 million enslaved Africans were trafficked to Jamaica, which was the most profitable of all sugar-producing locations. Jamaica is 235 kilometers long and between 34 and 84 kilometers wide, depending on which point you're located. About 500,000 enslaved Africans were trafficked to America from the early 17th century, when the first ship arrived, to the 19th century, when chattel slavery was eventually abolished. America grew from 3 colonies to an independent nation with 36 states. Over 450,000 enslaved Africans were trafficked to Barbados, an island that is 34 kilometers wide and 34 kilometers long and 23 kilometers wide. Before the trafficking of enslaved Africans, plantation labor in Barbados came from white indentured servants who were usually Irish. There were 2 major problems with indentured servants. One was that they eventually had to be granted their freedom. And the other was that they ran away, catching them challenging.
Willie, we got it.
Because they blended in, they were white.
I can't watch this whole thing, man.
I told you, Adonis, I told you there was nothing there.
Yeah, but
These guys make up stuff, they make up stuff because depending on their mood.
Hold on. I'm talking. Hold on. But I think I found what I was looking for. Hold on, give me a second.
And I'm glad you did let it play to their Adonis, because when he mentioned Americas, that's when he brought in the United States and FBA. Even if he didn't say
Oh
FBA,
my God.
no.
He said in solidarity, right? In solidarity with them.
Well, guess what?
No,
it's nothing to laugh about, because we did not give that greasy bushmeat eating clown.
I mean, now you're being disrespectful. There's the president of a country. Let's not do it.
Let's be respectful.
No, Adonis, give him more time to be disrespectful to a head of state.
Hold on.
No,
hold on. I just want to ask you. Pastor King, can I ask you a question,
He
bro?
did say he was doing this in solidarity with those people. He wasn't. He didn't say he was representing them. He said in solidarity with them.
we watched these videos. We know these videos. We watched them earlier. So there was nothing there that really was making that make sense. That's why we wanted him to play it, so we can know that
Willie, you
what
gotta
the
come
wrong
find
thing.
it. You gotta clip that part and send it to Diners,
Burial
Willie.
ground to lay a wreath. He didn't go to no burial ground, Jamaica or Brazil. Why didn't he fly to Brazil and lay a wreath?
Well, the United Nations is in the United States of America. It's in New York, right? The United Nations headquarters.
But he's making some point though. We can't just listen, guys. We can't just point blank passport king and disregard his history. That's a bit arrogant of us Africans.
But what did Ghana
You need to listen. We need to hear.
Our
We need to
history
also
is
hear.
intertwined. You cannot separate the transatlantic slave trade and separate Black American in the statement. It's intertwined. You cannot do it.
I agree to what.
But there's nothing with having solidarity, right? Africa, Africa.
No,
okay. For solidarity,
what did he do is that is wrong. Like,
you ask for solidarity and you earn trust. You don't just if someone barges in your home, hey, I'm coming over for dinner. You just gonna let that person stay?
Well, your leaders endorse this. The Congressional Black Caucus was there with them.
Did you hear your leader?
The Congressional Black Caucus
when he was
was
talking
there with them.
Is your approach?
Hold on.
Okay, sorry.
Hold on. Let me. I think I found what I'm looking for. Hold on. Not it. Hold on, guys. Let me. I had the video, but I have moved it away. Hold on.
You can't force solidarity on people. You earn it through trust.
Your leaders who were elected was behind him. The Congressional Black Caucuses are leaders who are elected by their constituents.
But this is why when you
they
tell
were
me
there
that
in support of them.
these guys, I don't understand them.
The
Black
Congressional Black
Americans,
Caucus was not at the
for
UN.
some other reason,
They were there. He acknowledged them in the room.
for any leadership.
Elvis, Donis, can I say one word? Can I say one word?
No, you can't. Hold on 1 second. Give me a second.
And the
Hold
problem
on.
with the Congressional Black Caucus
Hold on. I'm pulling something up.
not Black Americans.
As the gravest crime against humanity.
There's no such thing as a slave. There were human beings who were trafficked and then enslaved by people who believed they could own those human beings as chattels.
The consequences of which he says still persist today and accused the US of normalizing the erasure of history.
Schools are being mandated to stop teaching students about the truth of slavery, segregation, and racism in American history courses.
There are some fake news articles suggesting that the sponsors of this resolution called into question President Trump's support of the Black community. We reject any such suggestions.
The result of the vote is as follows: in favor.
And that's the white. Is that the African?
No, that was the white guy from America. That's
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying.
like-
Really,
that's like-
Donis.
He's a white
hold
dude.
on. I'm talking. That's why I'm saying Willie needs to give it the minute mark because it was the white guy that said that.
White devil.
Good.
Donis, can I address passport? I don't see the last name, but can I address him for a minute?
Yeah, go ahead.
So for him being disrespectful to Dramani as a leader of a country, I'm seeing that the chat is giving him a new name from passport king to passport queen. You know, so that would be your new name. When you come on here, I'm going to call you passport queen. Since you've been disrespectful to head of a state in Africa, I'm going to call, yes, you're a passport queen.
Cheddar.
All right.
Yes.
I mean,
I know Diners won't like this when I said, but can we agree that the Congressional Black Caucus are leaders for African Americans in this country?
If I call you an African booty scratcher, you're gonna have a.
Oh no, I've never been called that, but I don't care. You can call me that because I see some weak Africans that came on here. You call them booty scratcher. They were mad.
Can we agree that
I don't mind.
the Congressional Black Caucus are your leaders?
Man, passport king. I'm so disappointed that you're using that word on this thing. This guy should be. This guy should be found. This guy is going after everybody, which is very inappropriate. You can't do that.
Now you're going to call Dynasty. I thought you were
Excellent.
You're gonna call us
No,
whatever you
but
want.
See how weak-minded
Doesn't matter. Just
cheddars
call us.
are? Y'all
no,
tried
but I think I'm trying to get at
The
Pastor
white said that I was
King,
speaking.
where
U.S.,
do you have so
Israel,
much
and Argentina
animosity
on
towards
Wednesday,
Black
both against the
Africans
United
from?
Nations.
Let's have a conversation, guys. Let's not talk over each
Yeah,
other.
exactly. Yeah, thank you. So where did you get this animosity
had
from,
no
Pastor
business
King? Where did you get
bringing
this
up
from?
the
Where is this
legacy
stem
of
from?
being ancestors.
Pastor King,
What?
where is
What?
this stem from? Where is this stem from? This animosity towards Africans.
Wait, who's speaking right now?
Anti-moralist, you got to mute up. You got something playing.
Thank you. Thank you. Where did you get this animosity towards Black Africans from, Pastor
Oh,
King?
no,
Because I really want to know.
no. Hold on. There's no animosity towards Black Africans. It's towards Tedders. And when we say Tedders, this is what Tedders means. This is either Black.
You have an accent, bro. You don't speak like an African American. The way you pronounce the word cheddar is not how they'll
You
pronounce it.
sound a little bit Caribbean American.
Yeah, you sound Caribbean, man. Come
African
on.
Americans in the South sound like African Americans in the Midwest.
Don't use that Southern accent nonsense. You don't sound Southern, bro. You sound like you're Caribbean.
If you think
That's why you speak so slowly and with a hushed tone, because you're trying to tell your words.
Okay, so since you think I'm Caribbean, what
Yeah,
Caribbean?
he does sound Caribbean American.
Oh man,
let him
Since I'm Caribbean, what Caribbean island am I from?
I don't know, but you have a Caribbean accent. You can't be lying.
You want to play that game? No.
No, but just answer my question there. Thank you. Forget about your nationality. Forget about that. Just answer the question.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Thank you.
You can start with that stupidity. So let's get back to this
Stupidity. African Americans don't say stupidity like that, bro.
Hold on. Wait a minute. You saying
Yeah,
you have an accent?
He's right. He's definitely right. This guy, he's Caribbean. I figured out.
Wait a minute.
Oh man, y'all, the guy, let him. Hold on, guys. Let him answer the question. And African Americans do say stupidity. I know. Go ahead.
Not with that accent,
Wait a minute. You trying to say that what? We don't have dictionaries? We don't know how to read books? You think we have
that was dumb. Man. I know plenty of African Americans that use the word.
No, I'm not saying the word. The way he said it, that's what I said. They don't say it like that. That's what I said. Not that they don't use the word.
Okay,
you have an accent. Stop trying to hide behind you being an accent. You're not.
Challenge. You like that one better?
Oh, okay. Passport key. Answer the question.
What was the question?
God damn.
Where did you get this animosity towards Africans? In the in general.
Let's play this up. Now, can I answer the question, or is someone going to interrupt?
Yes, sir. Yes, please. Nobody should interrupt.
There's no animosity towards Black African. What there's animosity towards is Tedders, and let's explain what a Tedder is. A Tedder is a non-Black person. They may look Black, but usually Black immigrants. They could be either Black immigrants or first-generation Black Americans, even second-generation Black American with no lineage to U.S. slavery descendants who try to undermine, stifle, and sabotage Black Americans. What do they go by? Freedmen, FBA, Foundational Black American, DOS, Solon. That's when the animosity towards. I got nothing against Africans. Why would I hate on Africans? They got their own issues, their own problems in the continent. And actually, they got a lot of problems. That Ozoro Festival, the AKA Great Festival, yeah, that's just the tip of the iceberg. I'm not hating on them. We don't punch down. The problem is that the Tedders, y'all come to this country and y'all don't have a superiority complex. What it is, y'all have an inferiority complex. Y'all feel embarrassed from fleeing your countries. You come to America and you got these wild ideas in your head and some of y'all will even say, I'm not saying here, but I have heard on other Africans where they talk online, they have these kind of panel debates. They say all kinds of wild stuff like white people like us better. I'm not saying anyone here has said that, but I have heard many say that many times. Oh, white people prefer us. They like us better. We work harder. We're smarter. And us who are Black Americans, and I am of them, FBA, I go by that term, but there's other terms that's used. We're like, wait a minute. If y'all so smart and y'all so hardworking, why do the homelands that y'all flee from look like that? Then here comes the excuses. Oh, it's the government. It's the government. The government don't let us. Okay. Oh, the USA. Wait a minute. So the USA is responsible for your homelands being failed, but you come to the country that's responsible. Why would I want to come to the place that I'm accusing of making my homeland a third world country?
and then y'all in the next breath talk about how much smarter you are than us, and you got more degrees, you earn more money, and when you look at the real statistics, it doesn't pan out. Y'all have these delusional fantasies of grandeur that's not based in reality. Let me tell you how fragile y'all situation is, Tedders. All it would take is the repeal
All right.
of the
Everything
1990.
that
Hold
you're
on,
saying right now is said
hold
you
on.
almost like you're
Let me
pushing
let you know
ahead.
how fragile for the
No,
ones
I
that's in
mean,
the
this
USA.
is the worst
This is how
question you ever
fragile your
give to
position
FBA
is.
Africa.
All it would
Never
take is
give
the
them this type
repeal
of
of the
question.
1990
Because once you
it sounds
give
like
them that, then you open up to
Immigration
say,
Act.
Well, you gotta
okay,
All
FBA.
y'all
Stop
scholars
calling
is
him FBA, man. We hear the guy's clear accent. He's Caribbean. Stop the
no,
cap,
no,
bro.
let
yeah.
him
Caribbean.
self-proclaim
Why
FBA.
you
Say
You
he
are,
claims to be
brother.
FBA. Let you
fantasy
just
with
say
trying to
that.
make me
But
Caribbean?
this is the wrong question you always ask them
Hold on. I
because
gotta ask Elvis a question.
they would
Elvis,
think that they don't hate
hold on. Let me
African, but then they will come with all this kind of
You see,
crazy
passport,
excuses.
passport,
But
passport,
this is why
passport
it's
queen,
important to ask,
passport
right,
queen.
TD?
The view that you express about Africans, no one on this panel
It's a shame.
expressed that today towards
Hey,
FBA.
I
No
found
one.
the video that I was looking for. I found a video I was looking for. Hold on, let me play it. Hold on.
what's this fantasy about wanting to make me a Caribbean? What
We
is
hear
that?
your accent. That's all. You can't fool us, bro. I'm an African. I have an accent, right?
In addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also legal right in contemporary international law. The assertion for historians defined or to create, it was not. We regret that the text of this resolution. We remain committed. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The United States remains steadfast in its opposition and condemnation of historic wrongs that resulted from the transatlantic slave trade, the trans-Saharan slave trade, and all other forms of slavery. We remain committed to the acknowledgement that these historical wrongs. Despite this, the United States observes that the text of this resolution remains highly problematic in countless respects. Consequently, the United States cannot support the adoption of this resolution. We regret that the United States must once again remind this body that the United Nations exists to maintain international peace and security. It was not founded to advance narrow, specific interests and agendas, to establish niche international days, or to create new costly meeting and reporting mandates. This resolution does all three. The United States has defined long-standing objectives to the framing of reparatory justice and the duty of reparation for historical wrongs. While we acknowledge the horrors of the past, we do not accept this resolution's assertion that historical facts from the 15th through 19th century constitute violations of jus cogens, as the term is understood in contemporary international law.
I was right.
The United States also does not recognize a legal right to reparations for historical wrongs that were not illegal under international law at the time they occurred.
I was right again.
In addition to its obvious legal problems, this resolution is also unclear as to who the recipients of reparatory justice would be.
Unclear.
The drafters and supporters of this resolution seem to believe it is them. The United States strongly objects to the cynical usage of historical wrongs as a leverage point in an attempt to reallocate modern resources to people and nations who are distantly related to the historical victims.
And that's
as
why
stated
FBA's a
at
mad
the outset
right
of these
there.
negotiations,
That's where
the United
Ghana
States
really messed up.
also strongly objects to the resolution's attempt to rank crimes against humanity in any type of hierarchy. The assertion that some crimes against humanity are less severe than others objectively diminishes the suffering of countless victims and survivors of other atrocities throughout history. This is not a competition. This attempted ranking is also simply incorrect as a matter of law. The United States would also like to express disappointment in the arbitrary historical perspective of the text. Trafficking in African slaves began long before the 15th century and sadly continued even after the 19th. These dates were clearly selected for political reasons rather than historical accuracy. All trafficking of enslaved Africans and racialized chattel enslavement of Africans deserve to be condemned, not merely the political expedient. Also, there are some fake news articles suggesting that the sponsors of this resolution called into question President Trump's support of the Black community. We reject any such suggestions. Indeed, President Trump has done more for Black Americans than any other president and enjoyed historic support from the Black community in the 2024 election. He is working tirelessly to deliver for them and make our country greater than ever. Finally, we must express our deep disappointment regarding the process that led to this text. Throughout drafting, the United States and other delegations offer constructive contributions aimed at aligning the text with the established international legal frameworks. These contributions were ignored. For these reasons, the United States will vote no on this resolution. Thank you.
Okay.
Dennis, I think Willie heard his accent and mistook him to be the African.
I think Willie supposed to be.
He's an
in my introduction, Elvis debunked me for what I said when the United States said they wouldn't, vote yes because of the slavery taking place before these international law. He debunked me right out the gate that I was a liar. So you played it. I watched the videos. So I would like to understand, Elvis, why did you debunk me?
What do you mean? I said that the United States.
Video, sir. You seen it. I said it in my introduction.
Yeah, what I said. I said the United States. Listen, the United States reject. I mean, you asked a question. The United States rejected Ghana because they didn't feel like Ghana was the victim of slavery and that they're not the right complainant.
That was not the only reason, sir. That was not the only reason. He presented a reason, and you hear the reason. I gave one of the reason, and you said I was lying.
No, I didn't say you were lying. I just made
no, but you debunked me right out the
Ghana, they poo-poo the idea because Ghana didn't show that they were injured doing.
But you debunked me right out the gate without watching the video. I did watch the video. I took my time to watch the video. Listen. Let me tell you the difference between me and you, right? I take my time to do my research, and when I come on here, I give facts. That's what I did. I've seen the people, like those countries that voted yes. I checked the reason why they did.
Did you hear him also say that Ghana can't be the one to bring the case because there wasn't injured?
Let me finish. And those that said no, I went through the videos. There was like a 5 hours video. I watched every single reason provided by these countries. I wrote them down, every single one of them. I gave one of the reasons because this time didn't allow us to expound on it, and you just came right at the gates and say I'm lying, or just like pretending that I didn't.
It was just reiterated.
That's fine.
He said that Ghana can't be there because they're not injured.
Okay, I hope you understand next time that I'm giving facts.
The labors of the enslaved people.
That's fine. Next time, just make sure just when you try to.
I'm saying what I'm saying. You agree with this. So what are you talking about?
No, get all your information correct before you debunk somebody.
Everything I say is what the man just said. So what are you talking about?
Same thing for me. Same thing for me.
Okay then.
All right. What's the point? Let's move on.
Right.
Oh my God.
Everybody wants to get a point on this.
I'm tired.
Let me pass the mic to Passport King. Go ahead, Passport King.
Here's the bullseye. Even the United States, yes, they talked about the time it was legal, right? We're not worrying about that. Us U.S. slavery descendants, FBAs in here in the United States. That's not stopping our fight. What? And I'm not mad at what they say, because guess what? This actually helps us, not hurts us. Because what they made clear is that Ghana was not the recipients in terms of having the people in order to have the right to bring the claim. So in other words, they are removed from the injured party. That does nothing to stop or invalidate our claim. We still have the right and will deal with the U.S. government. And all we're saying is whether it's Ghana, any other African country, CARICOM, Brazil, because they also got a lot of slaves from the transatlantic slave trade. We're not interfering with whatever they want to do. Y'all could do whatever they want to do. Just stay the hell out the U.S. reparations. Don't include FBA. Whether they want to use the term Black American, Freemen, FBA, they're not going to use Sulan and some of the other ones. But if they try to get reparations, they need to not mention North America, or if they do mention
America already gave you the black caucus was there. Ashatu was there. So go to your leadership.
Yeah. I mean, passport king. If an African government or African leader like John Mahama managed to get you reparation that you actually want,
he's not going to.
No, but I'm just asking. If he managed to get you a reparation or get you, legally bind documents to actually advocate your case.
You're a good guy, but Africa, we're not gonna play dumb here.
Elvis, Adonis, I have a better video. Right after the votes, the foreign minister of Ghana, he went outside and took question for 16 minutes. I don't know if you got that video. He answered question. There was someone in the crowd that asked question about Black American, and he responded. And that's a great 16 minutes. That's a great 16-minute response. And if you can play it, that will deter someone like Passport Queen over here. That can help him out. Maybe if you play it, you can understand what you know.
The reason why we don't.
All right. I have a quick question for Passport King.
Let's hear him first, CD. Let him speak, please.
The reason why
he just talking same thing over and over.
Ghana's president to advocate nor any other African country, we see the hellscape. I don't give a damn who it offends. We see the hellscape and dysfunctional, chaotic mess is the majority of the African continent.
Are we making this personal? It's getting personal here. It's getting really personal. Come on, man.
You want to ask him a question?
No, come on. It's getting personal. It's getting personal. No, it's getting personal.
CD want to ask a question.
Y'all want to ask a question? You don't want to listen?
No, it's getting personal, brother. Man, you can't. Come on, you can't agree to disagree.
Let CD have his say, please. Let's see the speech.
Let me ask you this.
Let's see that with what, please.
So my question is,
hold on.
They had the black.
Hold on, can I finish the point?
No, you can't be talking over everybody like that. Let me ask you this.
I'm not allowed to finish
no. Let me ask you this. You got to give me a chance. No, I got to ask you this. I want to ask you.
You can ask after.
Let him ask you, then you can continue.
No, let me ask you, then I'll be gone.
You know why? Because after decades of U.S. aid, money in the billions given to African nations.
All right, you have said this over and over. You have said it over and over.
Let's hear him out, CD. Let's hear him out.
Let me ask you this.
How has billions of dollars given via U.S. aid helped the African people?
But do you know how much money American companies are exploiting in Africa? Do you know how much money American Western companies are exploiting in Africa?
My question is,
go on.
The problem is, I want to understand is, Ashaton was there as representative of Black Americans, right?
He's not the president of Black America.
And the Black Caucus were also there. So this is the issue. This is the issue that I have with you guys. When you say this, you get it so wrong. Where's the leadership of Black American? Because every one of your leaders, your disparate all your leaders. What is the list? Listen. What is the list? What is the list?
Let me ask you a question because he's letting
you can't be talking over me like that.
Before Ghana came on this,
don't you know Queens need to talk, bro?
But let's hear this speak.
Let me speak. Then you I'll give you the flow. Then you talk. Every one of your leadership that I've seen, your disparate all your leadership. What is Jesse Jackson? Jesse Jackson. What is Martin Luther King, what is Malcolm X? Where is the leadership? Because if you cannot function without a leadership, right? So now I'm telling you, Ashaton was there as a representative for you guys. The Black Caucus was there, and then you displaying all these guys that they are not your representatives. Who are the leaders?
The Congressional Black Caucus are a legitimate representation of Black America. So they were there. They endorsed the solidarity.
If you don't have the leader, then you can't function. right?
Y'all
Yeah,
come
case
from a
closed. If that's the
country
case,
where
yeah.
just a few days ago they had a great festival, and it wasn't just women. There was a man who was assaulted. He tried to defend his girlfriend. Well, guess what? After they violated his
Passport
girlfriend,
King, I got a
hold on,
question for
this
you, right?
ties into the gay stuff that was
Use a
I
scenario.
got a question for you, Passport King.
They
If
violated
Tariq Nasheed was in that room, will you accept it as legitimate?
Yes.
Tariq Nasheed wasn't there, so where's
If he was there, will you accept it as legitimate?
It's not about, first of all.
Oh my God.
All right, man.
No,
Good
you know
night,
what?
guys.
I'm
All right.
I'm out. I'm out.
Man, I'll
Listen.
see you guys tomorrow,
Yeah.
man.
I need CD. Take care, big bro.
Yeah, guys, we
All
got
right,
to
take care.
close out.
Good
Everyone,
night.
thanks for joining.
Yeah,
Like,
thanks.
share, subscribe.
Yeah.
Next time, family, down is mirror search for real peace.
Bears are a cult, man.